Now you're served with a restraining order by your mother.
Yes.
And in retaliation for that, she slashed your tires.
Right. She admitted to carrying the knife, Your Honor.
I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
Yes.
She's going to get caught eventually. Right now, she's been clever, but she's not that clever.
This is Judy Justice. Jasmine Brendley is suing her future stepdaughter, Nyaria Williams, for defamation and the cost of 3 tires.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge.
How are you?
Case number 3084, Brandley versus Williams.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Brantley, you are in a relationship with the defendant's mother.
That is correct.
For how long?
Over a year now.
I assume that when you met the defendant's mother, the defendant was living with her mom.
That's correct, Your Honor.
It is your claim that at some point the defendant and you developed an acrimonious relationship, and that as a result of that, she was asked to leave the home, and in retaliation for that, she slashed your tires.
She was never asked to leave the home. She voluntarily decided she was going to leave the home.
Let's say that that's a given, but it is your claim that as a result of leaving the home, and there's no question she left the home because you were there.
We weren't sure exactly what the reason was. She didn't make a reason as to why she was leaving the home.
She left, and it is your claim that after she left, she slashed 3 of your tires.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Williams says she did not slash your tires, but that she still has property in the house that she shared with her mother before the 2 of you were in a relationship. Do you live together now?
Yes, ma'am.
When did the 2 of you move in together?
I moved into the home, I want to say the exact time frame was around April of 2023.
And when did you move out of the home, Ms. Williams?
I moved out June 28th of 2023.
So a couple of months later.
Yes.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding your leaving the home.
My mother texted me and said her girlfriend was feeling uncomfortable and she wanted to focus on her and her relationship, and I needed to go and focus on myself.
You have that email. I'd like to see it. Kevin.
Okay, so he's right there.
So you had this discussion with your mother, and what I'm gathering is that you and the plaintiff started to have some nasty texts back and forth.
There was no back and forth, Your Honor. She was just texting me nasty
And you
texts.
have those texts?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to take a look at them.
And she also had
your
other people
response
texting
to
me.
your mother is that bum paying bills?
Yes.
Okay. And then your mother tells you right now, time for you to go.
Yes.
And then you say, okay, I just want to grab my TV and bear.
Yeah, I want to at least grab that for tonight, and then I would have came back and got the
Just
rest
to say,
of my
well, that's what I need. Need to unlock the door so I can grab my TV and bear. I assume that's a teddy bear, not an animal?
No, it's a bear.
Okay. Let's see the text.
And I never responded to these texts, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
These are just phone messages. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. She put my number on social media, and people were texting me asking for sexual favors.
Just a second.
No problem, Your Honor.
You'll get there.
I apologize.
You'll get there.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So you moved out.
Yes.
Now tell me about the tires.
She was moving out, had her things. We know she carries a knife. She's always showing it and bragging
Just a
about
second.
it.
She acknowledges she came back to the house with a knife. She acknowledges that. Is that correct?
Yes.
What kind of a knife?
It's a small pocket knife.
Show me. This I don't understand.
Yeah,
I want you to show me. Is it this size
this
when it's
big.
opened? So
Yes.
it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, just a little bit bigger than that.
It's a little,
Just a small one that you can fit in your pocket, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty big knife. Okay, so you came back to get your things, and you had the knife with you.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we did not confront her while she was getting her things. We looked out the window. We could see her carrying the bags as she was dragging them down the walkway past the apartment building. That was maybe about 1 in the morning. We woke up for work, I say maybe around 6:45 time frame. We go outside, the driver's side tire was completely flattened, and the left side passenger front and the rear passenger side tire. They both had tire slashes in them, and we had to get them all three replaced. They were unrepairable due to the puncture in those tires, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I have pictures and documentation for that as well.
The issue is not whether your tires were punctured, but whether you have proof that the defendant did it. The tires were fine when you went to sleep.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the defendant came after midnight,
Yes, ma'am.
collected her things in suitcases.
Mostly like bags, not really suitcases.
How did you get into the house that night? Is not an answer. Did you have a key?
Yes.
Okay. And nobody had changed the locks.
They changed it the next day.
Nobody
they
had
made it.
changed the locks on you then.
Then, no.
So you were able to come and get things.
Yes.
So now you have to give me proof that she slashed your tires. You can imagine that she did, but what evidence do you have that she slashed your tires?
Your Honor, no one knows, other than the family, that I was living with them at the time in that area. I have no outstanding confrontational beef. I don't have any problems with anyone in the
anybody
neighborhood.
else?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
That's circumstantial, but insufficient in the law that she's the only one that you had a beef with, the fact that she was there. It's not enough evidence for any court, even a court where the quantum of proof is little, that she did in fact slash your tires. The evidence that you have is that you don't have a beef with anybody else, correct?
I didn't have any
And you
situation.
couldn't think of anybody else who would want to do that, and she was there in the vicinity that night.
Within the time frame, yes, ma'am, Your Honor. She left maybe around 1 o'clock. By 6 in the morning, the tires were slashed.
Well, you weren't out at 1 o'clock in the morning. You went to sleep at what time?
Maybe around 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m.
And then you got up at 6?
Yes, ma'am.
But you hadn't been outside. When did you park the car?
I'm not sure the exact time, Your Honor.
Was it before dinner or after dinner?
Probably before dinner.
And you have dinner at what time?
More than likely, maybe around 10:45 p.m.
10:45.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your car was parked before 10 o'clock, and the next time you saw it was 6 in the morning. Okay, well, that's a big window. I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
Jasmine Brandley is suing her future stepdaughter, Nairia Williams, for defamation and the cost of 3 tires. Nairia is countersuing Jasmine for her belongings and lost wages.
I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
Even if you look at the tires, you can tell the 3, only 1 is flat. If they all got slashed at the same time, they all would be flat.
If it's
But I did
1
not.
or 3. That's not the point.
I did not know.
She told others that she did admit to it.
I did not.
Oh, just a second. Who did she admit it to?
Her coworkers, also.
Oh, no.
friends.
Do you have a co-worker here? All I need is a witness.
My witness can confirm
That she admitted it to them?
to other coworkers as well. They work at the same location, Your Honor.
Did your witness, did she admit to slashing the tires to your witness?
She's admitted to both me and my witness that she would do harm to us and to me.
Is this your witness?
Yes, ma'am, this is my fiance.
Your last name is?
Williams.
Miss Williams, this is your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
You work at the same place?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did your daughter admit to you anything about the tire incident?
No.
Okay, sit down. Do you have a police report?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to see the police report.
Yes, ma'am.
Did the police interview any witnesses?
No, ma'am, they said I had to file domestic violence restraining order, which I did.
Was that granted?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
I'd like to see that too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, you got a temporary restraining order you got on your own. She wasn't present when you first got it.
Correct.
Did you go back for a final hearing?
She never appeared.
So the answer is you went back
3 times, Your Honor.
and she didn't appear.
She never appeared.
So it was granted on default.
Yes, ma'am.
I never received anything about going to court. The only paperwork they gave me was about the tires. They never presented me with anything.
What I have to tell you is this. Currently, there is a restraining order, that's what she says, against you. And if what you're telling me is you were not properly served, I would move to vacate that order because you're at risk if you don't. I don't actually believe that you weren't notified to come to court on 3 separate occasions. I think that you just decided to be a smart aleck and not go.
No, I really didn't know.
Really?
I knew my mother had one against me because the cop did mention that when he dropped the paper off.
When your mother filed a restraining order against you, then there was a return date. Did you go to court?
No,
Is not an answer.
Oh, I
Did you go to court? Now you're served with a restraining order. by your mother, and you got a date. You ignored it.
No, they pushed it back. I didn't get a new court date. That's what I'm saying.
But did you ever go?
Because I had moved.
Just a second. Did you go to the first one?
No.
No, you didn't. You ignored it.
I didn't know about them.
No, you said you knew about the first one. You didn't know
and
about.
then it got moved. I
Just a
wasn't able to
second.
get to it.
You knew about the first one.
Yes.
Yes, and you didn't go.
Yes, it got moved.
Right. No, had nothing to do with moving. If you knew about the first one, you knew you were supposed to be there the first date. You didn't go, and they adjourned it for another date to give you another opportunity to come. And then you said you moved. Then you say you didn't get the second date. Well, but you got the first date and you ignored it.
The date got moved. That's what I'm saying.
No, courts don't get moved up. They get pushed ahead, not moved up. They get pushed ahead if somebody doesn't appear. That would have been you. Didn't appear the first time. Are you trying to confuse me?
No,
because I'm old?
No, I would never want to do that.
So far, there are 2 protective orders. So your mother has one against you, too.
That's what the cops say, yes.
Your mother has one against you also.
Yeah, that's what the cops said.
Do you have a protective order?
So that's why I don't know what's going on all the way.
Miss Williams, did you file for a protective order against your daughter?
No.
You never did?
No, only my fiance did. I never did.
Oh, okay, fine. Now you can sit down. So the answer is, Miss Williams, your mother never filed for a protective order against you.
Okay.
Only the plaintiff.
All right.
Okay. So far, we don't have a confession, right?
We had the threats that were made, Your Honor.
To do you harm. That's
What she tried to do.
okay. Miss Brantley?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not sufficient. I'm telling you, in all probability, Miss Williams, who's a little bit of a wise guy, did in fact slash your tires when she came to get her things. All probability that happened. But there's no evidence.
She admitted to carrying the knife, Your Honor.
Yes, I know. She told me. I saw it. She took a knife with her. It's not enough evidence to connect her to doing the damage to your car.
What about the credible threats, Your Honor? The threats that she made towards me?
You have a protective order against her, correct? If she violated that protective order, you go back to court and you file a violation of the order of protection. And if they find that that's true, she's going to go to jail for contempt of the order. That's your remedy. You have a protective order that lasts until when?
Right now, Your Honor, we're attempting to locate her. She's not responding to the summons officer's calls or texts.
I have not received
We
no
don't know
calls
her
or texts.
address.
Don't speak. What does that mean? Do you currently have a protective order?
It expired temporarily. We could not summon her.
Oh, well, that's...
We don't know where she's located.
Okay.
I went to court 4
So-
different occasions and she wouldn't appear. They could not locate her. And she's aware that we're trying to serve her.
Okay. You're suing her for 3 slash tires, which I can't find in good conscience that she did, even though probably in the back of my mind that I know that she did because there's insufficient proof. And the other cause of action is for defamation.
Correct.
What's the defamation?
She posted my cell number to social media requesting sexual favors. I was receiving calls and texts
Just a second.
at all hours of the night.
Just a second. Can I see what it was that you're alleging someone posted?
Yes.
May I see it?
And you already have the page that has all the different text messages that were coming from the number. And all these numbers...
Just a
have been-
second. Just a
Yes.
second. Oh. That text message that you're referring to came from this phone number that's on here?
Yes, ma'am. If you look at all the messages on that one page, Your Honor, they were all from the Chicago area, the same area that is her zip code for her phone.
My mom's zip code too.
So this is not her phone number that created this text
So
message?
that is a screenshot that someone sent me of my number being posted on social media.
I understand that.
Yes.
And you have to connect her with that.
They're all coming from the same area code as hers, Your Honor. I don't know anyone else with the area code in that location. I'm not from the Chicago area. And if you look at that one page of evidence, I received over 10, 15, 20 different contacts, all from the Chicago area, asking for sexual favors.
That's, again, probably true. Either she or someone at her behest. But you understand, there's no proof that it came from her number, that it came from Chicago, that the numbers were the same area code. The area code is in Chicago. Is that what you're
Chicago
telling
area,
me?
that is correct.
Chicago area. Well, that's a very big area, madam.
I've never received any calls or texts from that area code ever before until the incident, at all hours of the night, Your Honor. I'm not a sex worker, in all respect.
Jasmine Brantley is accusing her future stepdaughter, Nyaria Williams, of defamation and slashing her tires. Nyaria is countersuing Jasmine for her belongings and lost wages.
She's going to get caught eventually. Right now, she's been clever.
She needs to be
But
held
she's
accountable,
not
Your Honor.
that clever. So right now she's going to get caught. Miss Williams,
Yes.
you submitted paperwork to the court when you came here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you have any proof that the plaintiff ever threatened you?
I'm sorry.
Proof?
That's right. Is not an answer.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't
Just
find
a
it.
second. So you have no proof that the plaintiff ever threatened you?
Correct.
Other than the fact that your mother told you it's time for you to go, other than that, did your mother ever threaten you? That you can prove. That's either a yes or a no.
No.
I want your address now. Now.
Okay.
Where?
Jacksonville, Florida. I'm still in Florida.
We will verify that with the clerk who took her papers, and we're going to give you that address. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you have her address. So if you want to file for a protective order, you know where to serve her. And
Thank you.
if she's evading service, you can get substituted service, what they call nail and mail. You mail it to her at her address, which she's given you, and you have a marshal tack it on to her front door, and then she's been served. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor. What about the tires, Your Honor?
I explained to you, you don't have sufficient proof that she slashed your tires. Probably did, but you have no proof. The fact that she threatened to do you harm, the fact that she was there within that period between 10 p.m. when you had dinner and 6 a.m. when you saw the cars is a wide window. She probably did it, but you need proof that she did it, and you don't have it. And you don't have anybody to whom she confessed. You could have brought somebody, if you say she did actually confess to a coworker, you could have brought that witness, but you didn't. You chose to bring a witness who really couldn't contribute to your case. Do you understand? I'm just telling you, with a confession, and you had the tires, and she had the opportunity, and she had the mechanism, but you need something other than that. That's
The threats weren't a confession, Your Honor?
no. Okay. Now, you're counterclaiming for illegal lockout. Forget it. Your mother told you to leave. Money owed for belongings taken without permission. What belongings?
I had 2 bags of clothes still there.
You had 2 bags of clothes.
Yes, I had 2 big bags.
Just a second. And?
2 big bags of clothes. I had my shoes there, my work shoes as well.
Okay.
And then I had this big mattress I left as well. It was an air mattress. Super.
And?
That's about everything.
How did the plaintiff prevent you from getting that?
Because when I contacted them about getting my clothes...
Not them. How did the plaintiff prevent you from getting that stuff?
They changed the lock.
Not they. It's not...
Jasmine and Rika changed the locks, and I could not come and get my clothes.
Not they. You have to have proof that the plaintiff, you see, it works 2 ways.
Yeah.
You have to have proof that the plaintiff did something to prevent you getting your stuff. You went there to get stuff. Mm-hmm. You went there to get stuff on the night that her tires were slashed, and you were dragging out bags of stuff.
Not bags. I only had a couple items.
You had a couple of items
and my teddy
just
bear.
a second, that you came back to get at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I need to get dressed for work.
Miss Williams, your counterclaim is dismissed. Okay, now you have her address. If you feel as if you still require a protective order, get it. If you had proof that she posted this, I'd give you a lot more than you were asking for in your complaint. But you need proof that she posted that, other than the fact that the number comes from Chicago.
I receive at least 10, 15, 20 different attempts to be reached out to me requesting sexual favors from the same area code.
I said if you can prove that she posted this, I understand the consequence.
A witness can confirm.
She also texted me that night. I have text message from her that night that she slashed the tires.
That says what? That was the night she came by at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, she lived there.
So, and if that's an acknowledgement that she slashed your tires, we're in business.
Right.
Let me see. You say to her, so you going to flatten her tire? I hope you know the cops will be called. How did you know she was going to flatten the tire?
Because she had did it. She sent me all these text messages.
No, but nothing. You don't understand, Miss Williams. Nothing in the text messages before talk about a tire.
Right.
Nothing in the text messages talk about a tire. And the last thing that it says here is 3:45 in the morning on June 29th. So you're going to flatten her tire. I hope you know the cops will come. Did she respond to that?
Right, she wouldn't respond to none
She
of
doesn't
that.
respond to it.
Right, correct.
Okay, that's all. Your counterclaim is dismissed. You have absolutely no claim against them. I've given you her address. If she continues to harass you and you want to file for a protective order and serve her, I've told you how you can do that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
Great.
Honor.
Thank you very much. We're finished.
This court is adjourned.
We know that she carries weapons and there was damage done to the vehicle. You can pretty much put the pieces together.
She's a joke, so I figured she was gonna say that. That's what clowns do, so I'm glad she got to do a circus act.
The word on the street that she did it.
I told her girlfriend she ain't paying no bills. I told the bum to get some money, and I guess they didn't like that.
At one point, I thought that we could all be a happy family, but it's clearly not what she wants, and I do feel bad.
You ain't gonna get me to admit to that one.
You know, sometimes I wish we had even lower standards of proof than we do, because to you, to me, I'm pretty sure if we polled the audience, everybody out there would say the defendant definitely slashed those tires and probably posted the phone number of her mother's girlfriend online, insinuating that she would be open and willing to engage in sexual favors for strangers. But there is a standard of proof that they have to meet. And I was just waiting for the crumb of proof that we could hang our hat on for both issues.
Just opportunity and inclination doesn't allow a court to, in good conscience, find that she committed a crime. And both of those things would be criminal behavior.
Just with her attitude, I knew.
Her attitude.
I just, I wanted to prove and have that right little crumb to hang the hat on. But unfortunately,
eventually, people with that kind of attitude
always get caught.
Always either get caught or get comeuppance.
Oh, yeah.
Case number 3013, Toole versus Messenger. All parties, please step forward.
Cheryl Toole is suing her former daughter-in-law, Ariel Messenger, for benefit money raised for her grandchildren.
Ms. Toole, this is your former daughter-in-law.
They were never married.
Okay. They were together for how long? Because you identify her in your complaint as my ex-daughter-in-law. And how long has Miss Messenger been separated from your son?
Probably 5, 6 years.
And in December of last year, you have a daughter. Your daughter was tragically killed in an automobile accident. She had 3 children. Her 3 children are now with you.
Correct.
Did they come to live with you immediately after her death? According to your complaint, the defendant was touched by this tragedy. You don't say that, but that's what it appears, and decided to hold a fundraiser for the 3 children. What kind of fundraiser did you decide to hold for the 3 children?
I did a spaghetti dinner.
Where?
At a bar that I work at.
Did the bar donate any part of
their space?
They donated their space.
Right. My boss allowed me to have it.
And tell me how it worked. People came for a spaghetti dinner. Dinner was so much, and anything over that dinner went to the fund for the children?
Correct. All of it went to the fund. They would come in if they wanted to purchase a meal. They would get a ticket. Then they would go and grab the meal. And we had bake sale, also had raffles and stuff like that.
So there was an entrance fee to get in?
Basically, yes.
Not basically. Was there an entrance fee to get in?
There was not. You paid for a spaghetti dinner.
And how much was that?
It was $15. You got it to go back.
Who provided the dinner is what I'm trying to...
I had people donate the food.
And that was the only fundraiser you had?
Correct.
This is what the case is about. The case is about the fact that, put your hand down, that she says $1,800 was raised at that dinner. You don't seem to deny that $1,800 was raised for the benefit of the children. The plaintiff has custody of the children. She says you should turn that money over to her. And your position is that I'm waiting for Social Security numbers for the children so that I can open up accounts for the children.
Correct.
Okay, that's your position. Correct. Okay. How much planning did you have to do for this dinner?
We served it.
Who set it up?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so if you're not sure, she says she set it up. So the defendant set it up. Did you have any conversation with the defendant prior to the event, which I assume you attended?
Yes, I did attend it.
For the whole thing?
I had to leave at 9 because I had to take the children out of the bar.
Okay. What time did it start?
7 or 8.
So you were there for an hour?
No, we were there. We had went and got where we were serving it. set up too.
Oh, okay. So you were there until 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
During that time or before that time, did you ever have a conversation with Miss Messenger about what would happen to the funds that were collected?
Never,
Never.
never.
Well, then, can you explain your position to me as to why you think she has to give you that money?
Cheryl Toole claims her former daughter-in-law, Ariel Messenger, is wrongfully keeping money raised for her grandchildren.
Can you explain your position to me as to why you think she has to give you that money?
Okay, first of all, the benefit, I had no idea until the day before the benefit. She did not ask me,
No, just a second.
did not include me.
She doesn't have to.
Okay, but
Okay, she doesn't have to ask you. She doesn't have to include you. It would be nice, but she doesn't have to ask you. She doesn't have to include you. Okay? And what was the date of this event, by the way?
The 9th.
The 9th of?
December.
And when was the accident with your daughter?
December 3rd.
So it was relatively quickly after that.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to get back to why you think that you have a position, a legal position, where she has to turn that money over to you.
Okay, I have interim custody of the children. There is expenses. My daughter's apartment had to be emptied. I had to put her stuff in storage. I'm not physically able to be moving their belongings into our house that we just got for the 3 children and myself. I not only had to empty the apartment, get it in storage.
So what you're telling me is that you had expenses.
Yes, I have.
That's not a reason that she's got to give you money she raised for the benefit of the children.
But the benefit stated, there was a flyer put out for Brandy Hoteling to help her lay at rest and her 3 children. It never said about accounts. I have opened, when this happened and the kids come with me, I opened accounts for the kids. I went to my credit union to see if I could open accounts.
That's a good idea.
If I could open accounts that they couldn't touch, nobody could till they were 18. I couldn't because of them being minors. They had to go under my name, but they're in their own accounts. I have that on my phone that I can show you.
It's nice that you have accounts for them.
But I feel that if you're going to do a benefit, that's wonderful that you would do something like that. But do what you say you're going to do in the benefit.
That's what she says she wants to do. She said she needs the children's Social Security number so that she can open up an account. You can have accounts under Uniform Gift to Minors Act in every bank, in every financial institution that are in your name for the benefit of a child, which is what you can do. I know I have 13 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild, and I have accounts for all of them, okay? But I have a brother, and if my brother said, I want to open up accounts for your grandchildren, and I said to him, well, give me the money because I have the accounts already. He said, no, I want to be in charge of those accounts. It's what I want. I got the money, but I want it for the benefit of the children. And what I'm telling you is she can open up the accounts for the benefit of the children just as well as you can. Just because you have expenses, Ms. Toole, that's not what this benefit was for. In her mind, she ran the benefit, and you said you had nothing to do with it. She ran the benefit for the benefit of the children. And what she's supposed to do is open up accounts for the benefit of the children. Did you go to the bank and say to the bank, I want to open up accounts for the benefit of the children? And did the bank advise you that you needed any particular document?
Yes. That
What
I needed
document
some form of Social Security numbers because, again, I wanted to be the primary person to where she couldn't have access to it.
Okay. Where do you come from? What jurisdiction?
Toledo, Ohio.
And how did you get here today? By plane?
On a plane, yes.
And there was certain expenses and fees that you would be receiving for traveling to do your case here.
Correct.
We're going to hold those fees. And I see that I'm not going to get any cooperation from Ms. Toole, even though I've told her that she can give you the kid's Social Security number so that you can open up these accounts for the benefit of the children. That's her prerogative. But you can go to the bank and get savings bonds for the children, and you don't need their Social Security number.
Okay.
All you need are bonds in their name. What I'm telling you, Miss Tooley, if she had their Social Security number, that money would be growing interest. So at a certain point, they'll be able to cash in these bonds and have a little spending money when they either go away to college or start a job or are looking for an apartment or something. I assume that you get some sort of benefit for the children.
No, I do not yet.
Okay. Was their mother a working person?
Yes, she was.
Well, if she's a working person, and then the children are entitled to Social Security benefits. Was she a working person all of her life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if she was a working person all of her life, she was entitled to Social Security. And if a person who was entitled to Social Security dies, children, minor children, are entitled to Social Security. Did anybody tell you that?
They did tell me that, but
Okay,
it's
so
in
why
the works of custody. They couldn't do it until that was established.
Well, no, they could do it.
That's what I was told.
Well,
and I went down there.
Who are you arguing with over custody?
Nobody. The fathers want them to stay together because they've been through enough tragedy. And so I'm not arguing with them.
Are the fathers contributing to their support?
The one said he has been, but it's just sitting there. He said, do you know what's going on? I said, everything's at a standstill till June 7th.
Oh, so it's going to be resolved relatively quickly?
Yes.
Okay, good. What I said to you is if she had their Social Security number, she could put it in an account that may bear some interest for them. If she does bonds, they have to wait until they're 21 years old. It's a relatively short period of time.
I can do bonds. That's fine.
You
I wasn't aware
can.
of-
I don't know if they're long enough.
Right.
What's your objection to giving her their Social Security number?
Because, for one thing, she's not financially stable. She has ran bills up on a family member.
Okay. So you would prefer that she buy a bond?
Yeah.
A 7-year bond?
But also, what about the help with the daughter? I mean, it's right there on the flyer.
You mean for your daughter who's deceased?
Yes.
She can't help her, Mrs. Tooley. She can't help her.
So that was false on the
No, she
flyer?
can't help. She can't help her.
Right, right.
She can't help her.
Right.
And so her and the children. And if you're not going to allow her to have their Social Security number so she can put it in an account, she is going to buy U.S. bonds for the children in the children's names, and my clerk in the back will hold everything until we receive proof that those bonds have been purchased in the children's names. Hold on to them until the children are 18, and then you can give it to them.
Okay.
Because you can't cash them in anyway.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
This case is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
It's awesome that somebody would want to take that opportunity to do that to help somebody.
I'm happy. They'll have their bonds and everything will be taken care of.
But when they don't use the fundraiser for what it said, I feel they're cheating the people that did it.
You know, the date, the timing of this was really super important.
Mm-hmm.
This tragedy occurred, and within 3 or 4 days, this event was put together. And it was put together, I'm sure, out of adrenaline. What can we do? And the flyer said it was for the benefit of her deceased daughter, which, of course, there can't be any benefit to the deceased daughter. The benefit has to be to the deceased daughter's memory through giving the kids an extra couple of bucks. And you're talking about really $550 or $600 for each of the 3 children. But at the point, that $600 will be important. So they'll have a bond, it'll mature into, I don't know, $800 in 5 years. Not the best way to invest money, but at least it keeps the peace.
Nidra Hunter is suing business owner Tamika Young for a party bus refund and punitive damages.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3018, Hunter versus Young.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Hunter, you were planning your wedding,
Yes,
and the wedding was planned for what date?
October 8th, 2022.
Miss Young, what's the name of your company,
Luxury Queen and Mr. Party Bus.
and where is it located?
It's in Detroit
How long have you owned it?
since 2017.
And it's a party bus company, then you must have party buses registered in the company name. We're going to check it. How many party buses do you have registered in the company name?
Well, actually,
No, not actually. That's a question that I have for you. How many party buses do you have registered in the company name?
none.
How many party buses do you have registered in your own name?
None.
So it's a fair statement that when you advertise that you're a party bus company, what you do is you subcontract that out.
Yes, ma'am.
You know where I'm going, right? Do you see any advertising under the name of that company? Because that's how the plaintiff got to the defendant.
I do. I see their Facebook page. In addition, they have a website.
May I see both, please?
Sure. Facebook page.
Okay, let me see. We have the best rates, limo service. Okay. Now, is this what is on their website as their party buses? Let's take a look.
So if you go about, when you go to book now, it gives you just these options, 4 options for vehicles, and then a place to leave your message. And that's it.
Got it. So what you did was, in anticipation of your wedding, you wanted a party bus to take about 30 guests
Yes.
so that everybody was together
Yes.
for photographs to a park, whatever it is, and get you to and from the venue to the party afterwards. And you looked on the internet and you found Miss Young's company.
Correct.
Your wedding was in October. On what date did you contact Miss Young?
It was in March.
Do you have any written contract or communication with her?
Text message.
May I see it, please? Who are you, by the way?
I'm the driver.
Are you related?
Yes,
How are you related?
I'm her nephew.
How old are you?
20.
Get to you in a minute.
I just found something interesting. So there's a video posted by the defendant on the work page on Facebook saying prom season is approaching, with a video of a large white bus that looks like it would be about 25 to 30 people. And somebody in the comments inquired and said, interested, how much for 5 hours? And the defendant says in March of 22, this bus posted is no longer available. This one being, she sends a video of a different bus, is 15 to 20 passengers for 5 hours is $11.50.
So in March
of 22.
Of 2022, she indicated that that party bus was no longer available.
Which looks larger than the one she suggested in the comments, saying the one that was originally posted about
Do you have a
prom.
date in March?
Yeah, March 12th, 2022.
And it was the defendant saying to another party.
A different party.
Different party, that bus is no longer available.
But here's a different video of a different bus that seats 15 to 20.
Got it.
Lists the rate for that.
Okay, so, very good. Well, how come you told her the bus was available?
That bus particularly was available in March.
No. You told somebody else that the bus wasn't available on March 12th, within 24 hours. So in March, when you were dealing with her and her wedding, you already told somebody that you don't have access to that bus anymore. That's what you...
That particular bus, but Your Honor, I have different types of buses.
You know what? You don't have anything. Miss Young, you don't have anything. We established that.
I have access
You
to it.
you don't have access to anything more than she has, more than I have.
Because I work with different companies and I am their driver.
You are a subcontractor, and you make promises like you did to her, and then, because clearly, $950, she paid you.
Absolutely.
She paid you. And how many days before her wedding did you tell her that there was a problem with that bus? How many days before?
It was September 26th that I called and had a conversation with her. Would I have that information here that we had this conversation, that bus was no longer available because it was in an accident?
You know, I don't like you to think that you're really dealing with somebody that's stupid. You just told me that you have access to many different companies.
Absolutely.
So if you have access to many different companies and you've contracted for a 30-passenger bus that looks like that, use one of your other contacts. I wouldn't use your company ever. Because what it was is a bait and switch. You baited her with a 30-passenger bus that she needed.
No.
3 weeks before her wedding, you say, that bus, either you told her was in an accident. According to your answer, you said it was having mechanical difficulties. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Is that correct? Well,
mechanical accident, same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not that, and you don't own the bus. It's not the same thing, and you don't own the bus.
I have access to it. I have access to it.
I'm going to tell you, madam, it's a bait and switch. Now you can stand up, because what happened was she sent you a smaller bus. You want a refund.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. Move over here. You have a chauffeur's license?
Yes.
Take it out. May I see it, please? Well, you didn't have a commercial driver's license in October of 2022.
I was trained to be.
I don't care what you were trying to be. Your commercial license wasn't issued until January of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm a school bus driver. I had to get that as for the drive. I had a chauffeur's license at the time when I was driving them.
You needed this to drive a commercial bus, and you didn't have it at the time that you were driving. Okay, so first you arrived late, right?
Yes, but that was because I had the wrong address.
Who gave you the address?
It was on the itinerary.
That she gave you.
Yes.
That's the information that she gave me.
Impossible.
I promise you.
Just a second. Do you live in the same community?
I live in Detroit, but Detroit has different counties,
Just a second. Do you?
cities.
If
Yes.
transportation is your business, what was the name of a hotel she was staying at?
I didn't even know it was a hotel that she
What was the name of the hotel?
I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
Holiday Inn.
Okay. Listen, I'd like to give you money for your aggravation, but you got married, right?
Yes,
You happy?
we are.
This your husband?
Yes.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Look happy. All she should say to you is, I'm sorry, because it was clearly, in my mind, a bait and switch. She baited you for a 30-passenger bus, which she did not have. She never told you she was subcontracting for that bus, did she?
No.
Of course not.
I explained.
Nidra Hunter claims business owner Tamika Young owes her a refund after bringing the wrong size party bus to her wedding.
Now, based upon the website, you would assume, and the photographs and the videos that are on Facebook, you would assume that your company provides buses that you own, not that you subcontract to other people. There's no question in my mind that's a bait and switch. That's what it was. And I doubt whether you ruined their wedding because they tried to make the best.
I tried to make the best of her wedding. I reached out to her. I called her. I let her know what bus I was switching her out to, which I have the video here.
Bait and switch.
I understand you said it's a bait and switch. I get to the bottom of it, but I did kind of accommodate her when the situation. I offered her a refund.
You offered her a refund. She paid you $950. What did you offer her?
$950.
You offered her $950.
Absolutely.
In cash.
Absolutely. The day when I switched her bus.
Just a second.
Then again, when we got there.
That's because that's not what I read. I read that you offered her something towards her next ride. You offered her the $950?
$950.
That's what she's going to get, $950.
That's what the contract was.
Just a second. Did you?
And then when Antoine got there and she wasn't happy with that bus due to when I explained to her over the phone conversations that this 15 to 20 passengers, it fits 20, but it fits tight. Different.
You know, it's a hustle. What your website is a hustle. He is not a professional driver. He's a 20-year-old kid who couldn't even get to the right address.
Because
who got there late. No, she didn't give you a wrong address to get to her wedding.
I asked her for her information, and she sent it to me.
And you bait and switched her with a large bus, and at the end of the day, it's not easy to. Yes, you did. $950, judgment for the plaintiff. That's it. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I work for different companies. I am like a booking agent. She said I'm subcontracting, but I work with people that have these buses.
I think it went well.
We do have buses that's no longer available because those are not available anymore.
She didn't give us the proper bus. It didn't hold our wedding party, so a lot of people couldn't show up.
They didn't accommodate because she had big people.
It was very sad and heartbreaking. My kids couldn't be there, my brother.
We was there. We gave the service, even though it wasn't that bus.
Had a wonderful time.
And they had a wonderful time. They played. They had fun on the bus. They danced. They took pictures.
No, I mean, we made the best that we could out of the situation.
When I accommodated to give her a refund the day of the event, she didn't want it. She wanted the bus.
Never will work with them again.
You know, I think I have a personal, as much as a judicial, negative sense of business people like this woman who clearly has a business that she operates out of her kitchen because she doesn't have any transportation vehicles. She will get a client from a website, and then she'll call around and see what vehicles from other companies are available. And then she has a nephew, maybe a son, maybe another nephew, maybe a gotcha. So, and she'll get a driver because he said that he drives a school bus.
Yes.
I don't know why somebody would let him drive a school bus when he's 19 years old.
Issue for another day.
But that's for another day. But you don't realize when you do that, somebody spends a year planning a special day.
Of course. The business plan is all messed up from the jump.
Yeah.
I think when you are offering what you call a top-tier service and you don't actually own or have control over any of the assets necessary to run that business, then you're waiting for trouble because
you're waiting to disappoint people.
Exactly. It's all going to be a disappointment, but lucky for the defendant, she's never at fault because it's not her bus.
Yeah.
So she never, I couldn't get access, I couldn't this, I couldn't that. It's always a push-off. Yeah. And so for people like the plaintiff, make sure when you're interviewing companies that, number one, they own the assets that they're alleging, that they have full and complete control over those. So if they say there's a conflict, you know who to go after in that situation. So unfortunate, but the right thing happened.
Yeah, and she's married. Yeah. And she says she's happy.
Case number.
Mario Corielli is suing his ex-fiancée, Deidre Ann Weiser, for stolen property and unauthorized credit card charges.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3062, Corielli versus Weiser.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Corielli, you and the defendant met in 2020?
Yes.
She was living in Ohio with her son, correct?
Yes.
She was a young teenager.
14.
And after you met, you decided that it would be right for the two of you if Miss Weiser and her son moved in with you, relocated to the state of Florida.
Yes.
And when did that take place?
I believe after we met, within 3 or 4 months, she moved down to Florida.
What month and year would that be?
It had to be before school year. Could be the September, when the school started.
When did school start?
September,
sometimes August, sometimes
2020,
September. Do you remember
like
when you moved?
We were during a pandemic year, 2020. So I believe it was by the fall of the 2020.
Is that right?
August of 2021.
Oh, I missed a year.
August of 2021.
Correct.
And when did you leave the house? When did you leave?
Ohio or
Florida?
I left Florida March 12th of 2023.
How did you get from Ohio to Florida?
My son and I flew on a plane to Florida.
Did you have a residence in Ohio?
Yes.
What did you do with that residence?
I kept that residence.
And you returned to that house?
I have returned to the house numerous occasions for holidays and things.
But when you left the house ultimately in March of 2023, you went back to that house?
No, I stayed in Florida.
Oh, you decided to relocate?
Correct. I had already changed my residency to Florida, and I have a nursing license in Florida as well, so I was choosing to stay in Florida.
Okay. And when you left in March, where did you go?
So I went to a friend's place that offered me and my son a room at his home.
And how long did you stay there?
I'm still there.
And is this the friend that you met while you were living with the plaintiff?
Correct. He left on Sunday to go to Maryland.
No. This is a friend that you met while you were living with the plaintiff, a male friend.
Yes.
So you've been living with him for approximately 6 months.
Correct.
In what kind of place?
A condo.
Now, from August until March, when you left, what kind of work were you doing?
I was working, when I moved to Florida, I worked with Mario in several of his businesses. So he had a bar on Marco Island, Mario's Neighborhood Bar and Grill. I managed it, cleaned it, shopped for the bar. And then I also did some sales tax and things for his building supply. So I was working with him.
Were you paid a salary?
Yes.
Were you on the books paid a salary?
I would assume so. I just received a check.
You got a check?
Yes.
Okay. Every week, every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks.
And what was the check?
$1,100 and some change.
Did you have a car?
Yes, I had a Jeep.
Did you have that shipped or did you buy it?
I bought the Jeep.
In Florida?
Correct.
Was it new or used?
New.
Did you buy it?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did you buy it for cash or do you have a loan on it?
I do have a loan on it, and he was making the car payments.
Who put down the down payment?
I believe Mario did.
Who paid for the insurance?
Mario did.
In whose name is the car titled?
Me.
Yours.
Future advisor, yes.
Who pays for the insurance now?
I do, and my fiance does.
Oh, so the person that you're living with now is a fiance?
Correct.
Okay, so you pay for it?
Yeah.
Mario does not?
Correct.
And who pays for the car note?
He does, my fiance.
And what kind of work are you doing now?
I did have a nursing job, but because of the type of career that he has, we travel. So I am working with him.
So you're not working?
Correct.
Which is why he's paying those bills?
Correct.
Sort of like Mario was doing when you lived with him?
Correct.
This is what your case is about, sir. You claim that you went away on business, I assume, for a few days. And when you came home, the defendant was gone. And she took with her several items that belonged to you, which you want back, and that she also charged an expensive bag on your credit card, which she had no authority to do. Those are the things that you want. Is that right?
Yes.
So you want to tell me, Ms. Weiser, what items you took from the home when you left? You acknowledge you took some items from the home, and I get the sense from your answer that you did not purchase those items. He did, but they were extra items. At least some of them were extra items that he has no use for, that he had maybe duplicates of. So I'd like you to tell me what you took.
Absolutely. So when I moved here, I left my job as a nurse.
I don't want a whole story.
Okay.
I want to know what it is you took.
Bed linens.
When you left. Bed linens.
Set of towels.
Bed linens. How many sets of bed linens?
One king set.
So far, is that correct?
Yes.
What else did you take?
Set of towels.
Set of towels. Bath?
Yes. So a washcloth.
Just
hand
one
towel.
set?
So it was a total of 3 sets. So 3 towels, 3 washcloths.
Okay, so you took 3 sets of towels.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
What else did you take?
I took a set of silverware.
Set of silverware. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
What else?
A toaster.
Correct?
Correct.
And a pizza pan.
Yes? What else?
I believe that's it.
Anything else that she took?
Well, she took a lot of the stuff that she actually bought
good.
for decorating the condo.
Oh,
in the house.
Just a second. That she bought?
With my credit card.
Are you telling me?
Corielli claims his ex-fiancée, Deidre Ann Weiser, stole expensive belongings when she moved out.
Okay. Give me an example other than these things.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Well, I'm kind of really all over the map right now. Because
I don't want you to be all over the map. I have limited time, less patience. What else did she take?
Okay, she took a lot of stuff in there which I have no way for me to identify what they are. I only think I have like a credit card statements that tells how many times she purchased an item, which I'm not aware of.
I'm not getting involved with that, sir.
I'm not aware of.
Okay.
What else? The main thing that she bought, which I never authorized that, was a Gucci bag.
Okay.
Okay?
Just a second. How much was the Gucci bag?
The Gucci bag was $2,200.
When was it purchased?
It was purchased, let me see, January 6, 2023. And 2 weeks prior, I spent $30,000 for an engagement ring. So why do you need a Gucci bag?
Just a second.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Mr. Curiel, the defendant left in March.
Correct.
March what?
23.
I left March 13th was the date that I actually...
So you would have received, sir, the bill from the pocketbook in February, the latest, the beginning of March, when she was still there.
Correct.
Did you have a conversation with her?
Yes, I did.
Just a second. When she was there, did you have a conversation with her about the Gucci bag?
After she bought the Gucci bag.
Yes, and you got the bill.
I said, why did you buy the Gucci bag?
Just a second.
Go ahead.
You weren't with her when she purchased it?
No.
Okay. Were you aware the date that she purchased it in January that she had purchased it?
No.
No. When the first time was it that you became aware that she purchased it?
When I received the statement.
The statement.
A month
Fine.
later.
Fine. So that was within 4 weeks. Then you had a conversation with her.
That's correct.
Okay. Just about the Gucci bag.
Just about the Gucci bag.
Okay. Tell me what the conversation was.
The conversation was, I cannot believe you go ahead and spend another $2,200 for a Gucci bag when I spent $30,000 for your engagement ring right around Christmas time. We just got engaged 2 days before Christmas. And then she went on a shopping spree to buy all the other nicks and necks, which I had no idea of.
Okay.
Until I received the statements on my hands.
We're talking about the Gucci bag.
Right.
Okay, and what was her response to you?
response to me says, I thought, was anything about that. I just did it. That sort of response was. Not that anything says, I'm sorry or whatever.
Gucci bag. Let's go.
So I have evidence here of the date that I had texted him and asked him if I could get the Gucci bag. Christmas Day, I had bought him like 25 gifts. He opened, and he bought me nothing. And so we were.
When did he give you the engagement ring?
He gave me the engagement ring December 22nd.
Okay, well, that's a couple of days before Christmas. What happened to the ring, by the way?
I returned that to him.
Good. Okay, can I see the texts that you have?
Yes.
Well, you told him you were going to buy it. I don't see where he said it was okay.
Correct. He didn't respond. And then I went into the building supply. I was still working for him and asked him. And he said, is that really, if that's really what you want? And I said, yes. And so he didn't respond in the text message, but he did respond when I went to the building supply. And when it was delivered, which was January 11th, I actually took the box that it came in, plus it was beautifully wrapped, and opened it in the building supply in front of him. And he even joked around with some of the bar staff, because I was still managing it, that I had bought it. So I did open it in front of him at the building supply, and he did joke about it quite a bit.
That is not true, Your Honor. Okay. None at all.
Well, Mr. Curio, you had several options because she did open it in front of you.
She did not.
She did not. So you're saying you did not know about this bag.
And I still don't know now.
Well, you know about it now. Now you got a bill for it.
I know the bill, but I don't see the bag. I don't even know what a bag looks like.
Well, no, you got to text her what the bag.
Ma'am.
No, listen
Your Honor,
to me. Listen
the
to
bag
me.
that you show today is $1,100. This bag is almost $2,200.
It doesn't say a price on it.
Okay.
The bag that she texted you.
I never saw that bag.
Okay.
Never.
Good. I have another question. Ms. Weiser, this whole transaction took place in January. You moved out with your son in March, and you moved into a home with a man who is now your fiancé.
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to know when you met him.
Mario left March 12th for Maryland to get some equipment that he had. I met him March 12th on the island at a country concert. He was made aware of my situation at that time. He had just moved into a condo, had 2 spare bedrooms. I had been seeking shelter, women's shelter at the time. And
I asked you a question. So, because I see from the complaint and answer that there was some issue with your comings and goings and him.
Correct.
You would go out with friends and stay out late, and he didn't like that. And actually, according to you, and he doesn't deny that, he said, I want you home by 11:30.
Correct. I got a curfew.
Well, depends upon how often you're out until 11:30.
My son was in Ohio on spring break at the time, so I did take the opportunity, and we were not getting along, to go out with friends on the island. And also, Mario was out late because he does own a bar. Last call's at 1, closed by 2. The bartenders usually got out around 3. So he came in at very late hours himself. So yes, I did take the opportunity to go out when my son was on spring break.
Okay. Now, the plaintiff gave you a credit card at some point in your relationship. When was that? That was after you moved to Florida, right after you moved to Florida?
Yes, because I was also purchasing our home groceries on that. I purchased the bar supplies.
So you purchased the bed linens?
Correct.
You purchased the set of towels?
Correct.
You purchased the silverware?
Correct.
You purchased the toaster?
Yes.
And you purchased the pizza pan?
Yes.
But you took with you, correct?
Correct.
And the bag, all on his credit card?
Correct.
And is it accurate that based upon these items, most of them, as opposed to the Gucci bag, would be considered necessaries?
Yes.
And was that the condition upon which he gave you the credit card? Because if it was not, then you wouldn't have asked him permission to buy the bag. Do you want me to...
Kelly has accused his ex-fiancée, Deidre Ann Weiser, of stealing his personal property.
Was that the condition upon which he gave you the credit card?
Correct. He had asked me to get things for the condo that he purchased for all of us to live in.
Right. but it would be accurate that because you didn't have permission to buy luxury items for yourself on this credit card, you asked him permission to buy it. Well, there's nothing here that demonstrates to me that he gave you permission to buy that luxury item. There's also nothing to suggest that you had the right to take the bed linens, set of sheets, silverware, toaster, or pizza pan. You had no right to take those things. And you took those things in March of this year.
Correct.
Okay. Do you want them back?
I think she used them already with the new.
She used them before. She used them before in your.
They were never used. They were still in the box. They're still in the bags. It's a brand new item.
Just a second. Don't speak, sir. Are you telling me the toaster oven had not been used?
Never been used.
Is that correct?
It's a brand new item bought for the condo. They're all in the box. Everything got stolen at the same time.
So you just took these brand new items and took them with you?
Correct.
You can't do that.
He called the cops on me and tried to have me removed. While my son was gone, he actually locked me out of the home of our home for 2 years. And I had to lift the garage, which I have a picture of, and then the very next night called the cops because he didn't want me in our home. And that's why I had to immediately get out.
That doesn't mean you take items that don't belong to. Just
go ahead. I would like to.
No, if it doesn't appear as if you're losing, why do you want to contribute to anything?
I was going to mention something else. Go ahead. Sorry, Your Honor.
Perfect. Because you're moving out doesn't mean you're permitted to take things that don't belong to you, that you didn't pay for. It also didn't give you license. He didn't give you license to buy this luxury item. I mean, I think it's unfortunate. I think that the plaintiff is more angry about the situation than he is about these items, but he has a legitimate complaint. And so, sir, what I want you to do is add up the items, and I'm going to give you a very short time to do that. When I say a short time, I mean like a minute.
8,000.
No. Add up the following items.
Oh, following item. Go ahead.
Bed linens, 3 sets of towels, the silverware, the toaster, and the pizza pan, plus $2,200 for a Gucci bag.
All linen.
That's it.
Okay. All linen, but $2,500. The Gucci bag, $2,200. Towels and all accessory, another $2,000.
Just a second.
So the total is $7,500.
Do you want me to say goodbye to you?
No.
Then I want you to look at your bills and tell me what the bed linens were, what the set of towels were, times 3, silverware, toaster, and pizza pan. Make a check mark and add up those things.
Your Honor, I'm a man. I never bought sheets before. I never bought linen before. I never bought towels before. So all of the receipts that I have, all I highlights in here, that shows all the items that she purchased.
Did you understand what I just said to you?
Yeah.
What I just said to you was, you're going to be reimbursed for those items.
Yeah.
Add up those items. If there's anything else on your list that is not in the items that I just mentioned, bed linens, towels, silverware, toaster, and pizza pan, I'm discarding all of those items and I'm just going to reimburse you for the pocketbook. Do you understand?
Okay, the linen.
Perfect. Linens. How much?
$1,500 for the linen.
Show me.
Because
show me. Show me.
Honestly, Your Honor, okay, I'm not
prepared. Then I'll give you time.
Prepared for me.
Then I'll give you time.
To show you the linen in the towels because they all on the Amazon here.
Then you're not prepared for this case. I'm not giving you.
Well, I can give you the highlight that shows here what was taken.
The only thing that I'm reimbursing you for were the bed linens, 3 sets of towels, silverware, toaster, and a pizza pan. And if you can't identify how much those things cost, which was part. Listen, I don't live with you, sir, and you don't support me. So you got to listen. Go ahead. That's part of your proof, not what she purchased. She had your permission to purchase a lot of things, everything that wasn't an essential. She did not have permission to take those things. If you can identify those things and tell me how much they cost, I will reimburse you for those things because they were in boxes, which she acknowledges, and I assume now have been used, correct?
Correct.
If you cannot tell me how much they cost. I'll issue a judgment in your favor for $2,200 for the Gucci bag. Do we understand each other? Don't say a word. That's my ruling. Now you have 1 minute to either identify those things or say, I can't. That's your burden of proof, sir. It's not mine.
Besides the linen, she utilized Venmo. I don't even know what Venmo is.
$2,200, judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
Maybe it's fair, but this was all part of control for him.
And no, that is not true at all. She's nothing more than a pathological liar.
I'm happy to, do what she asks and pay him back for the bag that was purchased, but he did know about it and he did agree to it.
The financial and the heart. The reason why, because I cared for the kid. I cared for her more than anybody ever cared for her ever again.
It's sad, but now we get to move on.
Also, we are men. I don't want to say it on TV, but we'll be very gullible.
It was a great Gucci bag, but shoot, if he wants it, he can have it too. I don't care.
I felt a little bad for that plaintiff. I mean, he proposed right before Christmas, and by his account, February, her account, March, she was seeing someone else and moved out and got engaged 6 weeks later to someone new after seemingly making her life very comfortable, giving her a credit card, a house, a car, saying go buy things to make a house a home. So I understand why he's bitter, but you still have to come with receipts, even if you're a man who's never bought linens before.
He was very generous. From the paperwork, he is 25 years her senior. Sometimes that works out.
Sometimes it doesn't.
And sometimes not. He'll be smarter the next time.
Hopefully.
Anthony Gonzalez is suing Sharina Charlton after Sharina's daughter assaulted her daughter and then damaged their property.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Case 3051, Gonzalez versus Charlton.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Will you young ladies stand up next to your parents, please? Ms. Gonzalez, it is your claim that the defendant's daughter did two things, that she assaulted your daughter and that she damaged your front door.
That is correct.
Defendant says that neither is true. Neither one of you were present when the alleged assault occurred. You were allegedly present when the door was damaged.
Correct.
Okay, so tell me your first name.
Adriana.
Adriana, do you remember the date of this incident?
No.
Do you?
No.
Tell me your name.
Juliana.
Well, let's say April 18th of this year, which is when it occurred. Do you remember what time, Juliana?
No.
Morning or afternoon?
Oh, afternoon.
Were you playing outside your house?
Yes.
Were you playing with anyone?
No.
You were alone?
Yes.
Adriana, who were you with on April 18th?
I was with a couple friends.
What's a couple of friends? How many friends?
Like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 is not a couple. 4 or 5 is a group. A couple means 2.
Probably like 3.
3 what?
3 boys.
And 2 girls?
Yeah, I think.
Adriana, did you know Juliana before April 18th?
Yes.
Do you go to school together?
Yes.
How long have you gone to school together?
For like 2 years.
Were you friends or?
No.
No. Did you ever have any contact with her before?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes.
Is a yes. What kind of contact?
Like we was inside a group chat together.
She was in a group chat, a text
like
group chat.
text with other people in it.
Other than being in a group chat with her, did you ever have any conversations with her?
I don't think so. I don't remember because this is a long time ago.
So now I'm going to go to Juliana. Did you ever have any conversations with Adriana before the 18th other than in a group chat?
Yes.
Can you keep your voice up so I can hear? I'm old.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
We used to be friends, but we stopped being friends.
When?
I don't remember. I think.
Do you know why?
No.
Okay. So now I'd like you to tell me what happened, Juliana, on the 18th in the afternoon. What were you doing outside?
I was playing around on my hoverboard.
Hoverboard is that thing that you sort of balance yourself on?
Yes.
So you were playing on the hoverboard and?
And I saw Adriana coming up to me, and I thought something would happen, so I moved to the Ring camera so my mom would catch it.
Is that because you were concerned about something from your past with her? You used to be friends, but then you said you just weren't friends anymore.
Yes, she doesn't really like me, and we were only friends for a little bit, and then she stopped being friends with me.
Okay. Well, she was with a group of people. Did she come up to you alone or with the group?
With a group.
And what happened when she came up to you?
She was saying something about let me get 2 minutes, so I assumed it was about my hoverboard, and I was just shaking my head, and then she slapped me, and I went inside and told my mom about it.
Okay. Adriana, before you tell me your version of what happened, and I haven't seen this, but I want to tell you that there is a video of what happened that day. I don't know what's on it. I've never seen it, but they don't put up this screen unless there's a video. And Juliana tells me that she moved in front of the Ring camera because she was a little afraid and she wanted her mom to be able to see what was happening. So before you tell me your version of the events, I want to tell you that there is a very strong probability that the Ring camera picked up what happened.
Yes.
That day? Got it?
Yes, it did.
So now I want you to keep your voice up and tell me your version of what happened that day.
Okay, so me and my friends was walking because there is a man who gives out drinks and snacks, and we did not want to go back to my mom's house because it was a long walk.
Just a second. Get to what happened when you saw her.
Okay, so we had saw her, and then I had ran to her, and then I had said what she had said, yes.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes. I think that, as she said, that she thought that it was about the hoverboard. And I don't know about the shaking the head or anything.
What? Just a second. What did give me 2 minutes mean?
It means like, let me hit you, because she had hit me in school. She always used to hit me in school.
Just a second. You came up to her and said, give me 2 minutes, and then you hit her.
Yes.
Now, Miss Charlton.
Yes, ma'am.
I've read your answer.
Yes.
Is this the first time your daughter told that story to you? Just listen to me very carefully.
No, it's not the first time, no.
You mean your daughter told you that she assaulted the plaintiff that day when she came in and told you what happened?
She never came in and told me.
Okay, well, when you asked her.
When I asked
Miss
her.
Yes. Miss Charlton, I want you to be very clear. Did your daughter tell you the same story that she just told me?
Yes.
I want you to tell me verbatim what she told you.
Adriana,
because I read your answer.
Yes.
Your answer comes to me from evidently what she told you.
Yes.
And I'm going to look at it again so that I'm sure. In your answer, you wrote, Juliana got aggressive and threatened Adriana, so Adriana was forced to defend herself. That's what you wrote because that's what she originally told you, but that's not what she just told me.
No,
that's not what she just told me. What she just told me was she walked up to her, said, give me 2 minutes. I don't know what that means. And then she hit her.
Yes, that's what she told me.
So where did you get the fact that this young lady became aggressive? There was nothing aggressive about that.
Yeah, it was nothing aggressive about it.
So that your answer is mistaken.
Yes.
So either you made up that statement because you signed your answer, or that's what your daughter told you when she came home.
No.
So you were mistaken when you made that up in your answer, the part about her defending herself.
Yes.
So you acknowledge that your daughter just hit her.
Yes.
Then that's so easy. Now I want to see the video. Let's play it again. Can you explain your actions, Adriana?
Brittany Gonzalez claims Sharina Charlton's daughter, Adriana, assaulted her daughter and damaged their door. Sharina is countersuing for online defamation.
What I just saw is you were with a group of people, you surrounded her, and you just walked up and slugged her. Explain that to me.
Okay, so Juliana, she always used to hit people in school. She used to be inappropriate in school. She used to hit people in school.
What did that have to do with what I just saw?
Yeah. So,
What does that have to do with that? I mean, if I believed you, which I don't, what does that have to do with this behavior of yours?
okay, so I was just really mad as soon as I saw Juliana on her hoverboard because she, as I said, she always used to hit people and be inappropriate in school to all of us. So.
Just a second. When was the last time she hit you? And be very careful. When was the last time she hit you?
It was that day at school.
Did you tell anybody about it?
I told a teacher, and I don't think that she talked to Juliana. All I know is just that I told a teacher.
Okay. When this whole incident started, did you tell your mother that Juliana had hit you in school and that you told the teacher? Careful.
Mm-hmm.
When this incident happened, did you tell your mother that Juliana had hit you in school and you told the teacher?
Yes. Well, not really. I just told my mom that I was about to fight this girl in school because she had hit me, because my mom had picked me up from this after-school program that's called Latchkey, and then we was like near something, and that I had told her that I was about to fight somebody in school, and I had told her that, and I just forgot what she said, what she told me after.
Do you understand that? Yeah. Repeat that to me, would you, that whole last soliloquy?
Yes, well, not really. I just told my mom I was about to fight this girl because she had hit me, because my mom picked me up after school program called Latchkey, and we was near something, and that I had told her I was about to fight somebody in school, and I told her that, and I just forgot what she said. She told me after.
Well, that's what I heard. I don't understand it, but I don't understand it. It's a lot of gibberish. Okay, now I want you to tell me what happened with the door.
Me? So she had come back afterwards. So you see Juliana come inside, and she was telling me to look at the camera because I was inside with my son, who's special needs at the time. We were getting ready to come out also to be with her while she was outside. She had come in and told me. I went outside to see if the hoverboard was still there. It was, so I retrieved it, brought it back in, and by that time, she had come back to kick the door in.
Is that on the ring?
It is.
I'd like to see it. What was that?
Me kicking the door.
Why?
Because I was still mad. I was still mad at Juliana.
You understand that she needs a talking to?
Yes, she had a good talking to.
Did she?
Yes.
Good for you. Can I see photographs of the damage to the door, please?
Just a second.
So it's the wood part of the door?
It's the frame, yeah.
Did you get an estimate to fix it?
I did. I have several.
I'd like to have it.
If I may speak, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the door situation, I did try to reach out to the defendant as towards paying and helping, rectify the situation.
Good.
But
that's good to hear. Actually, that's really good to hear.
yes, ma'am. But from the pictures that she sent to me in her own personal text, I was definitely questionable about this. So from the pictures that she sent to you, you can see that she said that this was a stainless steel door.
No, the wood, the damage she's showing me is really wood.
Yes, but from the text message that she sent to me when I asked about the door, she said it was a stainless steel door. Then she sent me the pictures, and if you see some of the pictures, you'll see this one picture at the bottom, right here.
Let me see which one you're looking at.
This one right here.
Can I see which one she's referencing, please, Kevin?
This one right here. So if you...
Mm-hmm.
So looking at that one picture right there, you'll see that that was broken from a nail. Then you see that the wooden part that she's saying that Adriana broke was already from a broke prior, because it's added wood to the door. You see the...
I'm just talking about this wood.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That wood was added.
What difference does it make?
How can she break a stainless steel door?
This is wood.
Yes.
Is that what you claim she broke?
If I may, what she's trying to explain is that it is a steel door and it's a custom-made door, so I can't just go to a store and say, hey, I like that door, can you please install it? It has to be built and manufactured to fit the space of my house. So for that to happen, everything has to come off. A whole new entryway has to be put in.
Are you telling me that her kicking the door caused this damage to the wood?
Correct. And the door does not shut properly and we cannot deadbolt it.
That's what I'm saying, Your Honor. How can she be able to do that to a stainless
I don't
steel
know.
door?
Listen to me. I have no idea. I have no idea how she did it.
Right, that's
But
why
it's clear that she went up to the door
Yes, ma'am.
and kicked the door
Yes, ma'am.
because she was mad. And
Yes.
if she's mad, that means she is not in control. She may be young in years, but she's almost as big as you are.
Yes.
Do you understand? Well, she has to control that temper.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I know you want, and I know that you get that.
Yes.
How many kids do you have?
3.
3. She the youngest, oldest?
She's the oldest.
Okay. Well, she's got to set an example for the younger ones. Does she do her chores?
Yes.
Great. She's got to be somehow responsible for what I'm going to do today.
Yes,
so if
ma'am,
you're very smart, you'll add to those chores list and make her pay you back for some of what I'm going to award her today.
Yes, ma'am, but she already got the money back for the door.
How did she do that?
She did a GoFundMe.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, okay. You did a GoFundMe page for the door.
Correct.
Could I see a photograph of that?
And that was because of the lack of her trying to rectify the situation through text.
Just a second. Okay, so far from the GoFundMe page, according to this, you've covered the cost of the door.
Correct.
Okay, so
it's not everybody else's responsibility, it's her responsibility.
Well, that's true. Well, that may be true.
It's
And
the
if you had
principle of
not
fact.
decided to do that, then I would have awarded you the $1,800 it was going to be to fix the door. However, you're not out of pocket for the door. So
It's still her responsibility.
It's her mother's responsibility only technically because she's a minor. Do you understand?
Sure.
Yeah, but you got paid for the door, so we're not going to get paid twice.
Has accused Sharina Charlton's daughter of assaulting her daughter and kicking their door. Sharina is countersuing, claiming Brittany defamed her online.
Your daughter really still has to understand that what she did, forget about the door. The door was just an extra piece of anger. She walked over and out of nowhere clocked her.
Yeah.
That's outrageous. So you better give her a whole bunch of lessons in being good because I'm not buying her story.
Yes, ma'am, and I definitely, you know.
So I would say that she should work off the $500 that I'm awarding her for that sucker punch. Now, we have a counterclaim, and your counterclaim is that the plaintiff published this video on the internet, which you say defames your daughter.
Yes, it got over 12 million views without them, you know, hiding her face or anything. And then
She doesn't have to hide her face.
Well, Adriana being a minor.
She doesn't have to hide her face.
Okay.
She has no duty to hide her face in the law.
So she could just post Adriana whenever she felt like it.
She could post whatever she wants that's accurate.
Okay. What about the comments?
Her comments?
Her comments towards, yes.
It depends upon what she said. Does she talk about kicking the door? Does she talk about assault?
Yes, she said about me saying that I was sitting at home smoking crack instead of paying attention to my daughter.
Oh, just a second.
Oh, yeah.
That I want to see.
Yes, ma'am.
I have those also.
So it's not your daughter's defamation, it's yours?
Yes.
It's yours.
She also says that...
Shh, just a second.
Yes.
Did you write she's sitting back smoking crack?
I did.
Well, you can't accuse her of committing a crime unless you have proof. Where's the proof that she was sitting back?
I don't have any.
Well, that's defamation. That's defamation.
I never used her likeness or anything. She inserted herself into the comments with her name as the username, so everybody would know it was her, so that when she started talking, everybody who saw the video can know it's her.
I don't care. I'm telling you, you can't accuse somebody of committing a crime.
She also put saying that she has a gun And if Adriana kept it up, then she was going to use it.
May I see that text? So far, you're absolutely right about this. No, she can tell you she has a gun.
Okay. I also have other communications between us from the internet.
Wait, just a second. I don't want to see. Just tell me if there's something actionable there. You tell me. I mean, I don't care if the two of you are fighting back
that I keep posting on the internet, but I never come out of my house. So that right there proves that she knows that I never come outside, that I keep to myself. And she just wants to harass me because I'm posting her child who did something uninvited on my property.
Yeah, that's okay.
Also, that she watches me from my porch every day.
Just get over it.
Okay.
Your reward was going to be $500 for your daughter, which I would have hoped that you would have put away for her because she endured being assaulted. You weren't injured. You didn't go to the doctor, correct? Right. It was nasty. It was just nasty. And I've dressed her down. I'm awarding her $500 on the defamation case, which means neither of you get anything. You got paid for the door plus some. But you can't accuse somebody without any proof whatsoever that they're drug users.
You're correct.
Well, now you pay for it. Judgment for the plaintiff, $500. Judgment on the counterclaim, $500. They cross each other out. You leave here with nothing, except hopefully some good lessons. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I think it was a fair decision.
Totally fine with it as long as it's all said and done and over with.
I know that they were having issues at school, regarding her appearance or what have you, but it shouldn't be like that. Everybody should get along.
I don't want nothing to happen to her.
I was just out enjoying my hoverboard. I just wanted to have some fun.
I'm just glad that this is done and over with.
Yeah, I think it's time to stay separate, and I hope the mother, disciplines her and makes it known that she shouldn't be doing those kind of things in the future.
Kids are kids. They should move on. Kids gonna fight every day, so.
I really hope that defendant, the mother, takes this as seriously as you insinuated to her that she should. Because I feel like if I came home to my parents, especially my father, and said, hey, some girl and I had a problem at school today, I'm gonna go fight her, okay? I would not even get 2 steps out of the room in which I was in before he would say, are you crazy? And teach me a good lesson before I even got out of the house. Yeah. So I can't imagine. And the mother was just standing there as the daughter was saying, yeah, I went home and I told my mom that I had a problem with a girl at school and that I was going to go fight her. And the mother didn't have anything to say about that, nothing to say. And even in the end, I could hear her say, kids are kids, kids are kids. No, kids are not kids that go to other children's homes and slap them in their own driveway for no reason. So parents really need to get it together.
That's where it all starts. That's where you teach behavior. Oh, yeah. You teach behavior at home. Mm-hmm. If you're waiting for a school to teach anything other than reading, writing, and arithmetic, and want schools to teach morality and right from wrong, and then what you're doing is you're giving up your responsibility as a parent to other people. I mean, children learn from example, but they also look to their parents for guidance.
And to see what's acceptable.
Yeah, and an 11-year-old, even if she's a big 11-year-old, should not think that it's acceptable behavior, and it's not kids being kids. That doesn't look like kids being kids. That was aggressive, and a group of people coming up to one youngster that is bullying. Yeah, and it really has to stop. But the plaintiff, if I hadn't heard that she started a GoFundMe page, and actually the door was $1,800, and she got
double almost. She was honest when she was asked about it, and she presented her own proof to say that she did.
But she didn't tell me up front. She gave me the bill first. Right. But you can't post anything on the internet. You can't accuse someone.
It was the clearest case of defamation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Christian Sanchez is suing his former employer, Juan Vasquez, for unpaid work and defamation of character.
Court come to order. All rise.
Be seated, please.
Hello, Judge. Hi. Case number 2007, Sanchez versus Vasquez.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sanchez, how old are you, sir?
I'm 26 years old.
And what is your educational background?
I have a bachelor's degree in film that I got from Full Sail University. I'm currently...
Slowly.
I'm sorry.
You have a bachelor's degree from?
Full Sail University.
Where is that?
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. That I can hear. You have to understand, when you're dealing with someone of my age, you have to sort of factor that into your speech. People who are 26 may be able to follow you. I'm senior. I need people to speak slowly so that I can follow them.
I got you.
So you got a bachelor's degree from a university in Florida and graduated when?
I graduated in 2018.
And from there, what kind of work did you do?
From there, I jumped around a little bit. I did.
Okay, you jumped around. Did your family live in Florida?
No, ma'am.
Where do they live?
They live in Beaumont, Texas.
Did you live with them at all in Beaumont?
No, ma'am.
After college?
Not until the pandemic.
Okay. Well, the pandemic was in 2020.
Yes.
So you graduated in June of 2018, and then the pandemic started on or about March of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
And in March of 2020, you went home to your parents' house.
Yes.
And you stayed there until when?
I'm still currently there. I started going back to school, actually.
When did you start going back to school?
My first classes were in December of last year.
In Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So you actually had a year and a half out of school when you were hopping around.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want you to tell me who you worked for in that year and a half.
I was an intern on a documentary.
Okay, and when was that?
That was about a few months after I graduated.
So maybe September, October?
Yeah, probably around there. I did a few independent films.
Okay, and what kind of work did you do for them?
Just kind of depended what they needed. It was mostly
Like a
PA
PA?
stuff. Yeah.
Like a PA. And for that work, were you paid as a PA?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were you paid as a PA?
They paid me $75 a day.
Pay you in cash?
They paid me in cash.
Okay, so you did those couple of little projects, and then what?
I was also waiting tables at the time.
Okay, well, you got to eat.
Right. After the pandemic hit, my lease was up. I moved back home. Decided I would go back to school to get a tech job. I'm going for cybersecurity right now. I had heard through a family friend.
Okay, let's stop there. This case is, I don't think so difficult, but relatively interesting for me because we don't get them all the time. Mr. Vasquez, you were making a movie.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this the first movie you ever made?
No, Your Honor.
How many movies have you made?
This was film number 5 for me. Written, directed, produced.
Is it a fiction piece or a documentary?
It's actually based on a true story.
So it's a docudrama.
Correct, yes.
See that? Are you impressed with that? There you go, a docudrama. How long a film?
90 to 100 minutes. We're still in post, still editing. So
Keep your voice up. Approximately how long?
100 minutes.
What was your budget?
It's still in
About what was your budget? Then you're going to tell me where you got the financing.
roughly 120,000.
Where did you get the money from?
A lot of it was my money and other producers.
How much did you put in?
Over 80,000.
And you've got other people in for about 40.
Yeah.
Did you make money on your other films?
I have, yes, in the past.
Okay, this is what the case is about. Mr. Sanchez says that he was hired by your company. And he was hired by your company to work on this last film that you were doing. And it was a paying job. And at the end of the period, he was not paid. And in addition, he says that when he complained about not being paid, you put out there on social media that you weren't paying him because he was on drugs. Is that what the case is basically about?
Basically. It wasn't on social media. It was through text messages. He accused me of it, but...
Text messages?
Yes.
Well, that to me is almost social media. If it doesn't come to me by the U.S. Postal Service, I call it social media. I know. Okay. Did you answer an ad for this job?
No, I heard about it through a family friend.
And when did you meet Mr. Vasquez for the first time?
We didn't actually meet face-to-face until about Saturday, July 10th, 2021.
Did you communicate via text messages or
Yes, ma'am.
emails? Well, when was the first either text message or email?
The first text message was on Monday, the 28th, 2021 of June.
6/28, 2021. May I see that, please?
Of course. And this one, too. Sorry.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. So you first met by email. You say you have one spot available for him as an internship, and then practically immediately thereafter, you say somebody's family is sick in the crew. You have a spot for him as an assistant director.
So, Your Honor.
I'm reading this. Well, you have to
Yeah.
tell me what that means. I need a first AD. Someone's family is sick and they can't do it.
Correct.
So what is an AD?
He's basically going to assist me as a director, everything from...
Assistant to the director.
Correct.
Okay. I need a first AD. Someone's family is sick. So that's different from an internship.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, we do have internships where people don't get paid, and then you have internships where they do get paid. Most people now pay their interns. Okay, and when you met, because clearly the last email that I just read suggests that you were approaching the door and you're 2 minutes away, and then you met the defendant. Tell me about that conversation.
Claims filmmaker Juan Vasquez owes him for unpaid work. One says Christian was an unpaid intern.
Okay, and when you met, because clearly the last email that I just read suggests that you were approaching the door and you're 2 minutes away, and then you met the defendant. Tell me about that conversation.
So we met, we sat down. I kind of told him a little bit about my background, like I told you before. He kind of went over like what he was expecting me to do.
Just a second. I want you to tell me what he told you that he wanted you to do.
Managing the set, creating schedules, calling extras, making sure that they were there on time.
Is that what you told him?
Yes, basically assisting me whatever I needed.
Okay, that sounds like more than a PA.
We didn't ask for PAs.
No, but what you outlined was clearly more. What did you agree to pay him?
Never agreed to pay him anything. So
Well, how could you do that?
he was an intern. He was presented to me as an intern.
No, not after this text message. He said he was looking for an internship, and you said to him, I have a better role for you. I need a first AD. Someone's family is sick. Whose family was sick? The name of the person.
I don't recall.
Okay. When you did a budget, did you have a budget for a first AD?
No, we didn't.
Careful. Did you have a budget for a first AD?
No, not that I remember. I usually don't use a first AD, so the terminology...
No. Listen, you know who produces this show? You want to be careful with what you say around people, who are buying your product.
Sure.
Right? Because you're going to be presenting them with budgets, eventually, hopefully for you. There's no question that if I got this text from you, Mr. Vasquez, I would say, oh my God, I'm going to get a different job, a better role, because he says I have a much better thing. Somebody who was supposed to do it got sick, they can't do it. That's a much different thing from what you describe as bringing me iced tea and setting up the coffee. That's a different role. What did he tell you he was going to pay you, sir?
He told me, verbally, he told me that...
Look, careful when you talk to me. At that meeting, that day, what did he tell you he was going to pay you?
$150 per day for 14 days.
How many days did you actually work on the set?
On the set, I worked 14 days.
It's a lie.
I got COVID on the last 2 days, and he asked me to work from home. And I still scheduled and did all that stuff.
I never asked him to work from home.
You got COVID the last 2 days, so you were actually there 12 days.
Physically there, but I was still working for him.
Who knows? How do I know that?
I have text.
I would like to see the work that you did from home on day 13 and 14.
1,800 for 12 days, not including.
Okay.
On those specific days, I have it on my phone. Could I pull it up?
No, I want to see what you did. If you did work, you sent emails out, you sent scheduling out, and you would probably have to have a conversation with your boss and say, I have COVID, but I'll do whatever I could do from home.
I have all of that.
I'd like to see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, if I may interject.
Yeah.
So he shows up to the set sick with COVID, gets everybody sick. I had to call the next day of filming because of that.
Are you talking about after he was there for 12 days?
Yes, I'm talking about that particular part, but
I'm talking about he was there for 12 days. He didn't have COVID for 12 days.
we don't know that.
Well, who knows that? I don't know if you have COVID.
We just got tested, Your Honor.
Who knows if you have COVID? Who knows if I have COVID? All I know is I came to work today. I expect to be paid. I wouldn't come to work if I was sick and laying in bed and feeling nauseous and...
Your Honor, if you had a remote position, that'd be different. He didn't have a remote position.
I'm not talking about his 2 days. He was there 12 days.
He did it throughout the course of the project. He was never on time.
I don't care if he was never on time. If he was never on time, sir, then you fire him.
There was days he was not on set.
Listen to me.
Okay.
He was never on time, then you tell him don't come back after the second day. But if you let him come for 12 days and do whatever he does, I mean, Mr. Vasquez, I'm going to make this as painless for you as possible. There are some employees that I have had over the years that were terrific. Some not so terrific, some terrible. The terrible ones who were really terrible, who I would have liked to have fired, period, I couldn't do it because of human resources. They have a whole protocol, volumes, like an Encyclopedia Britannica, what you have to go through to fire somebody who's not doing their job.
Right.
But you have to pay him until you can fire him. If you have him come to work, even if he's doing a terrible job, you still have to pay him. Now, if he goes home because he's sick and you're not giving him sick leave and you don't agree for him to work remotely, that's on him. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so glad. Unless, of course, you agree to have him work remotely, then you have to pay him for 14 days.
Right.
It starts right there, Your Honor, and then the next 2 days follow it.
JV, that's you?
Yes, ma'am.
JV, that's you. So you did, in fact, confer with him from home. Tell him to order food, to picking it up. I don't care if he worked for you for a half hour. He's not your friend. The thing that I find most troubling here, actually, for the both of you, is he says that you told him not to tell the rest of the crew that he had COVID because they would freak out.
Correct.
And he didn't tell the rest of the crew
As far
that
as
he
I
had
know.
COVID. Well, you told him not to. And he said, okay. Well, you have to know, as a good citizen, that's not the right thing to do. You do understand that.
And, by not having him on the set, we thought that was proper protocol.
No, you're supposed to notify people who you came into close contact with. I remember they had this whole contact tracing. I know people call all the time
The
and say,
reality is, Your
we
Honor,
were out
everybody
together
that was
a month
on
ago.
the set.
What?
The reality is, everybody that was on the set, we did discuss the fact that he had COVID, so people knew that.
I don't care whether people knew that. It says here, I won't say anything to the rest of the crew, like you said.
Yeah, because
I
didn't want
understand
to
that you
create
don't want everyone to freak out. I just find that troubling. In any event,
it's just
he
like
clearly
yelling bomb in an airport. That would have created a bigger hysteria.
Well, that's what COVID is. COVID is a bomb in an airport.
We conveyed to everybody on the set what was going on. The reality is, this man was presented as an intern, never said paid internship. Once he got on the set, he tried to strong-arm us, then demanded the money once he had all the information on the set. We didn't hire him. We didn't post a job for him. We made a job for him because a producer called me up. This is when nepotism goes bad. This kid couldn't even order pizza, Your Honor. He spent $300 at Domino's. Who spends $300 at Domino's?
Mr. Vasquez, then you fire him.
I should have
Do you
fired him.
understand?
I should have fired him.
Then your recourse is to fire him. And you're a little company that doesn't have a HR department. Say, you know what? What's your first name?
Christian.
Christian, you're a nice guy, but it's not working out here. We're going to pay you for 3 days because that's what you were here. Don't come back. I'm going to get somebody else.
And we should have done that, Your Honor.
But that's what you should have done.
Yes.
But that's not what you did. You continued to use whatever limited services he provided, even when he was home with COVID.
Yes.
Even when he went home with COVID, you continued to ask him to do things for your company and for the film, and that you can't do without compensating him.
Sanchez has accused his former employer, Juan Vasquez, of not paying him for 14 days of work. Juan claims Christian was incompetent and never a paid employee.
Okay, even when he went home with COVID, you continued to ask him to do things for your company and for the film, and that you can't do without compensating him. You can't. Okay, so you owe him $2,100 because I assume you paid him nothing. Now, let's get to the second part of your claim, which is defamation. That I'd like to see. I mean, if you're going to be a producer, if you're going to make films, sir, you have to understand. Say, you're not working out, you're fired. Something that I would love to be able to say a lot.
I agree.
Not
I
working
should have
out, you're
fired him right away.
without
Never-
risking my house and my car and my dog.
I was taking him on as a basically.
I don't care what you were thinking.
producer
That's
called
not what
me,
you said.
Asked me to take him on. That's why I took him on.
He actually called me and told me how
Just
good
a
of a
second.
job I was doing.
It doesn't require an answer. Okay.
And I can show the messages how he came to be on the set. He was presented.
I don't care. Just a second. I don't care how he was presented to you. If your Aunt Tilly said, do me a favor, this is my godson.
It was his Aunt Tilly.
He hasn't been able to get a job since he graduated from college.
He hasn't been able
He's
to get
home.
a college.
He's home in the attic of his parents' house playing the
Lives with his
guitar.
parents.
We want him to have a job. It's irrelevant. You gave him a job. And if he didn't work out, say, what was the name of that woman from that show that says you're fired or something? Well, anyway, you say you're fired. That's easy. Do we remember the name of that woman from England who had a show where she said, "You're out, get out." I don't know. She was terrific. Let me see.
The weakest link.
Weakest link. That was the lady. Perfect. Thank you.
And that's a direct text message to him that I never posted on social media.
Oh.
It was actually a group text.
Just a second. So, Mr. Vasquez, in here, you say to him, this is the second part of his case, which is for defamation. And that's okay. He didn't defame you.
Okay.
Sir, he said they're taking you out of the credits, but you were never promised credits.
In the contract, it says I am.
Let me see where in the contract it said you'd be in the credits. And I didn't even know there was a contract. I thought
He's
you had
also done this before.
Shh,
oh, wait.
shh, shh. It says you employed him as an actor.
Your Honor, I'm signing actor agreements every day. He put that in front of me to sign. Why would I sign an actor agreement for a first AD?
Just a second. Sir, is this the agreement he put in front of you? Or did you?
I sign actor agreements every day on the...
You're a business guy.
Yeah.
I'm a business lady.
That looked like an
I
actor
don't
agreement.
sign
That's why I signed it.
actor agreement. That's what it says.
Yeah. He's not an actor.
Don't sign it. It says you agreed to pay him $150 a day for 4 days of shooting.
14.
14 days of shooting. And that he will be responsible for paying all the taxes on it. So he was going to be paid in
I didn't write that out, Your Honor.
Kevin, would you show this to him, please, and see if he can identify that as his signature? I'm going to check here to see if it's his signature. It looks like his signature to me. Mr. Vasquez, it appears to be the same signature that you used to sign the answer.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And this says, actor shall receive a credit for acting in the film. Well, that's ridiculous. You didn't act in the film, right?
No, ma'am.
Well, we're going to strike that out because you can't perform that because you didn't act in the movie. Do you understand?
I understand, ma'am.
Okay, very good. And it's clear that whatever this says, based upon this, if you delete one part of a contract, let me see if I remember, if part of a contract, Sarah, is impossible to perform,
then it's not fully integrated.
And one party acts on that contract, and you can retain part of the contract because of services that were rendered pursuant to the contract, you can eliminate one part.
Yes.
So I can eliminate the actor part of getting credit. So you're not getting credit on this. You're entitled to the $150 a day. As far as the defamation is concerned, sir, what he said in here was clear. He said he was told by someone else, which is very possible. And the only thing that you can produce for me today is this fellow who said you tried to put together a little bit of a drug transaction. Are you?
No.
Well, then you're irrelevant. You can produce, because if he says, told me, then he's not saying you did this. He put it in a text to you that
He
this
said
is
it
what
in
he was told.
retaliation whenever I served him the night before. The very next morning, he sent me that text message.
I don't care. I don't care. He's not a great businessman. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,100. Thank you very much. We're finished.
This court is adjourned.
I thought she was very fair. I'm really, really happy with how the judgment came out.
He was an intern. Interns aren't paid. It never said paid internship.
He tried to avoid signing a contract at first.
The reality is, with a budget, we would love to pay the kid, but he cost us more money than he was actually worth.
He lies constantly. Nothing's ever his fault. He always makes up a new scenario in which he's the victim.
We couldn't even order pizza. I mean, who spends $300 at Domino's?
Handed me the actor's agreement, told me to sign it.
No more nepotism. If I don't know him, I've embedded him. I don't want them on the project.
A little bit weird, but it had everything.
And this kid is going to go be a cybersecurity guy.
Always save your receipts, dude. Always just keep any sort of communications, even if it's a phone call, send a text or an email that just recaps what you said.
I was so happy to vent for a moment on the current inability to fire inept people and to fire people who aren't doing their job, which has been getting worse over the last quarter of century. I actually believe that HR is a vital service for people who are unjustly, based on something other than their performance, treated badly by an employer. Mm-hmm. And harassment in the workplace, I think, is important. Anyway, I got that out of my system. The contract.
Yeah, the contract. I think it was unenforceable to begin because I think the form was clearly erroneous. It wasn't the proper form. He wasn't an actor. Both of them knew he wasn't an actor. Right. However, it was signed by both parties, And there was substantial performance on behalf of the plaintiff by showing up to work every day, performing his duties under the contract. So as soon as he substantially performed the contract, the defendant can't then claim it's unenforceable.
First of all, because he's not an actor.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
19-year-old Kaya Eliasoff and Brandon Blanchard are suing Brandon's father, William Blanchard, for unpaid wages, property damage, and stolen belongings.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge. Case number 2028, Eliasoff Blanchard versus Blanchard.
Thank you, Kevin.
Welcome.
Eliasoff?
Yes, ma'am.
That's you. How old are you?
19, almost 20.
19.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I am a server.
Since when?
As of June of this year.
This is your boyfriend?
A fiance, yes, ma'am.
Fiance. And how long has he been your fiance?
For over a year.
What does he do for a living?
He is currently unemployed.
When was the last time he had a job?
That was about a year ago.
What kind of work did he do a year ago?
Warehouse work.
Is there any reason that he hasn't worked in a year?
He has concussions and back injuries. And
from what?
From car accidents.
Does he currently have any lawsuits pending with regard to those accidents?
No, ma'am.
So the accidents were your fault?
No, they were the other people's faults.
The other people had no insurance?
The other person didn't have insurance at the time. So later on, he ended up stating that he did have insurance and got out of the ticket.
Do you see a doctor regularly?
Not anymore, no. I used to, though, until I ran out of my insurance for health insurance. And then the bill just kept stacking up on me.
At that time, did you have an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Did you ever have an attorney with regard to, did you ever consult an attorney with regard to these accidents? No.
No.
Okay, fine. Is there any reason why you're not working?
Yes, ma'am. I have bad back problems that I've had for quite some time. I have 4 discs out in my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
I also have knee injuries, shoulder injuries. I was pushing my body more than I should have been. I was over 300 pounds working in a heated environment, working every day. And I dropped all the weight, and then I ended up hurting myself even further from there. And then my doctor told me not to do anything over 20 pounds, so I went against her rules, and I did it anyways, and I kept injuring myself.
What kind of work does your father do?
He works as a U-Haul business associate and mechanic as well.
When did you live with your father?
I lived with my father in January, I believe it was 8th.
January of what year?
Of 2022, sorry.
After you have been disabled all this time because of all the heavy work?
Yes.
Let me give a general outline of what this case is about.
Yes, ma'am.
You and your fiancé were living where?
We were living with my father.
No, before you lived with your father.
My father.
Her father.
In what state?
Wyoming.
There come a time when your father either said it's enough or you decided that you were no longer happy in Wyoming?
It was a conflict with his girlfriend that came about.
Whatever it was. If it was a conflict with his girlfriend, your father told you to skedaddle.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And you called your father.
No, I didn't call my father.
Who did?
My father called me.
You mean just out of the blue?
Yeah, he does it at random once in a while.
He just called you at about the same time that your fiancé's father told you to get out.
Yes, is what I believe. Anyways, I've had a few concussions, Your Honor, and I don't remember a lot.
Okay, we're going to get there. In any event, you had a discussion with your father that you didn't have a place to live, you didn't have a job, she didn't have a job, you had no money. Her father was kicking you out of the house, and he drove cross-country to get you.
Yes, ma'am.
In what month?
It was in January.
January of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
How many miles did he drive to come and get you?
I think 1,000 miles, maybe.
Each way?
Each way, probably about 2,000 total, something like that.
Okay, so he drove 2,000 miles to come and get you.
Yes, ma'am.
And then he brought you back to his house.
Yes, ma'am.
And you weren't working.
Yes, ma'am.
And the girlfriend wasn't working.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you weren't working, the girlfriend wasn't working, you had no money, so your father was taking care of your expenses.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And now you're suing him. And you're suing him for a host of things, which I'm going to give you a relatively short time to tell me about. But one of the things that your fiancé says is that your father owes you for wages because you worked for him.
Yes, ma'am.
Doing what?
I was doing U-Haul work, basically.
What is U-Haul work?
Oh, sorry. I'll explain. Sorry, ma'am. Basically, what we do...
Not basically. I don't want to hear basically.
Sorry.
I want to hear what you were doing.
I would hook up U-Hauls. I would also clean and inspect all the vehicles.
Just a second. Hook up the U-Hauls.
Hook up the U-Hauls.
Clean and inspect them.
Clean and inspect them.
What does it involve in cleaning them?
Basically spraying down...
Not basically.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry. We spray down all the...
Not we. You.
Yeah, sorry. I sprayed down every single surface of the innards of the vehicle, basically the steering wheel, the floor plates, the radio, everything.
And when you hook them up, explain how you hook something up.
How I hook something up is just backing up, lining up with
So you'd have to drive?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're driving a car and backing up?
Yes, ma'am. And
so,
then,
you're using a rear view mirror?
Yes.
And yourself. You're looking to see where you're backing up because you have to use both.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you hook them. Well, what else did you do for your father?
I also did paperwork for him, doing like inventory stocks and stuff like that.
Terrific.
Basically.
Not basically. I don't want to hear basically. Basically is a filler
Sorry,
word.
ma'am. What else was I doing? I would sweep, clean up his shop. I would do a lot of things.
Okay, all while you were unable to do anything else.
Yes, ma'am. I was.
Just a second.
What were you saying?
After your back issues, after your concussions, after whatever other injuries that you had from working someplace. By the way, you don't have a lawsuit pending against anybody, do you?
No, ma'am.
So it's just a question of fetching, other than maybe trying to collect a disability somewhere along the line from the federal government. You were able to hook up U-Hauls, clean them and sanitize them, sweep out the premises, do paperwork, but you can't work. I mean, because part of the lawsuit is about all this work that you did, but all while you're telling me that you're unemployable because of all the injuries that you had.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okie dokie. You understand how ridiculous that sounds to me.
Yes.
I only had one other case in my recent memory that sounded anywhere familiar to this story, and that was a man that was also receiving disability because he had a bad back. He was the plaintiff in a lawsuit suing someone because he had built them an outdoor patio deck alone, and he wasn't paid the $6,000 for it. But he had been collecting disability for a back ailment for 31 years from the federal government. That sound odd to you?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it sound odd to you that you're able to put hookups together and sweep and everything else, but you can't say, do you want a hamburger with your fries or fries with a burger?
Yes, ma'am.
That sounds peculiar to you. Right. So I don't want to hear about work. Okay, that's the first thing. And you lived in your father's house for how long, by the way?
I think we only lived there for the first month, and then we ended up getting moved out to a camper for like the last bit of the, I think, 2 months that we were there.
I don't know what you're suing for. You want to tell me?
ISA and Brandon Blanchard claim Brandon's father, William Blanchard, owes for unpaid wages and stolen property. William is countersuing for moving expenses and property damage.
Now, I'm not entertaining your wages because you can't work. That's what he just swore to. He can't work. That's why he's unemployed. He has 4 disc problems. I think he said 4, whatever. He can't work. Forget him now. I want you to tell me what you're suing this man who drove 2,000 miles to rescue you after your father threw you out. I want you to tell me what you think he owes you for.
For the stolen property of my vehicle.
What stolen property of your vehicle?
He stole my toolbox with the key with it and also parts that went to my vehicle.
Did you take her toolbox?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Next. What's next?
Whenever I confronted him about it.
About what?
About the toolbox when we went to go get my truck, then he would say what he just said, that he never took it. But when I asked him where did the key go for it, he denied he would just ignore that fact.
Well, it's not a fact. It's not a fact unless you can prove that he took your property. You said he just said to you, I don't have your toolbox.
But my vehicle was on his property, in his possession.
Okay, and that's what you have. Your vehicle, while you were living there, was on his property, and therefore he's responsible for the toolbox.
Yes, ma'am. When he kicked us out and then told us to come back for the truck, he was going to give us 2 weeks to have it towed.
Because the truck wasn't working, but he let the truck stay on his property for 2 weeks.
Yes.
What else are you suing him for?
Just for the repairs on the vehicle.
On what vehicle?
On my truck. That whenever I went to go get the truck off his property after that 2 weeks, that's when the toolbox was missing, and I also looked under the hood, and there was wires hanging out, and those wires, I do have pictures.
Just a second. Let me ask you this question. You said, you said he gave you 2 weeks to come and get your truck off his property. The truck was inoperable when you left it on his property. Wasn't running.
No, ma'am.
That's right. You did not come to get it off his property in 2 weeks. You came after the 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
How much after the 2 weeks?
I think just like a couple days after. We came back on April 23rd and we left the property April 6th.
So it was after the 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let's get there fast because I'm quickly losing patience with two ingrates.
Here's the pictures. And
I don't want to see any pictures of what? Of the truck?
the parts that were missing.
I don't care. I don't care. After 2 weeks, he could burn that truck. It's on his property without his permission. Let's go. Move on. Your father came 2,000 miles to get you. He fed you for a month. He kept a roof over your head for a month. In return, you're suing him for nonsense. Let us move on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. Okay. Now, Mr. Blanchard.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a countersuit that actually you wouldn't have brought now because you didn't have an agreement with your son and his fiancée when you went to get him. How many children do you have?
8 altogether.
Prior to going to get him cross country, when had you seen him?
Been several years.
Tell me about the conversation when he contacted you.
He said, Dad, I have no place to go. We can try to stay with her grandmother. I offered, said, I'll come get you if you have no place to go.
And then?
Within a week, I dropped everything to go get him.
Now, when your son and his fiancée came to you, sir, did you put him to work in your business?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long was he in your business?
Altogether, maybe less than 90 days.
Did he work in your business after they moved out of your house? He says they only lived in your house for 30 days.
They were in the house 45 days, and then they were left another 45 days inside of a camper.
Can you tell me why they moved into a camper?
There was a chance of my daughter coming home, and they were living in her room at the time. And so I wanted to make sure they still had something, so I put them into a camper.
Camper on your property?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of camper?
Small camper. It had
So
a
they
shower.
used the inside of the house to shower and
Yes, Your Honor.
stuff, but they slept in the camper?
Yes, Your Honor.
All true?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And he paid for the camper. He paid for the electricity, water, etc. when you were now. She wasn't working. Did he also pay for the food? Did you eat in the house or did you eat in the camper?
No, ma'am. We were getting food stamps. So we paid for our own food. And we also helped them with their food as well.
Why were you getting food stamps?
For the short bit of time because he recommended to get on food stamps.
Had you been on food stamps when you lived in Wyoming?
No, ma'am.
Okay, how did you support yourself there?
I was working at the time.
And what about him?
A driving company, basically, we go around, pick up food from places and
So
deliver.
you were able to drive?
Yes.
Oh.
For only a little bit.
With
Your
all
Honor.
those injuries? Amazing. Okay, I would like you to testify, sir, now to the conversation that you had with your son with regard to compensation for coming to pick him up in Wyoming. Be very careful what you say to me.
I told my son before I picked him up, I said, you need to pay me back for this trip.
Did you tell him what for the trip? I mean,
Yes,
your
for all
time?
expenses. All expenses for the trip.
For the expenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
How was he supposed to do that? He wasn't working.
He was supposed to get a nighttime job on top of working, helping me out around my shop.
Did he help you around your shop?
He
You
did.
said about 90 days. Did you pay him?
No, Your Honor.
Well, if he worked for you for 90 days and you didn't pay him at all, and it cost you a couple of $1,000s, according to you,
Yes, Your Honor.
to go out and get him, hire trucks, spend time back, whatever it was, and he worked for you for 90 days without compensation, why do you think he did that?
I was hoping just because that's what he really wanted to do.
No good deed goes unpunished. You went and you got him, and now they're suing you, but their case is dismissed. They have no case against you. It's all a bunch of nonsense and ridiculous. But likewise, sir, your counterclaim is for the expenses that you incurred in going to pick them up. I don't actually think that there was an agreement to pay you back for your expenses. But even if there was an agreement to pay you back for your expenses, the fact that he worked for 90 days without any compensation, I think, more than compensates you for that. As a result of that, your counterclaim as well is dismissed. We're finished here.
This court is adjourned.
You try to do your best for your kids whenever you can, and this is no different.
It's been very difficult growing up.
I hope he gets his life together.
I don't want anything to do with him.
I'll always be there for him.
It's time to cut the strings. I'm done with him.
That young man sounded as if he was intelligent. That doesn't mean he was smart. That means he was intelligent. Because at age 19 or 20, to have already figured out that you can't work because you have a bad back unless you really have to work. If you really have to work, then you can work for your father. That's a bad mindset for a very young person. That means that your life is really going nowhere. You're not preparing yourself to do anything.
And to take it a step further and to sue the only person that was there for you in a time when you needed them.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Case number 2059, Dobson versus Jones, Poindexter. All parties, please step forward.
Clarissa Dobson is suing her sister-in-law, Kenesha Jones Poindexter, for a trip and wedding expenses.
Miss Dobson, I assume this is your brother.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And this is his wife.
That is correct.
They're newly married.
That's correct.
When were they married?
June of 2021, June 26th.
Were you at the wedding?
Yes, I was. I was in the wedding.
Wedding at your house?
Wedding was at my home.
This is the unfortunate circumstance that I read in your papers, which I hope to be able to resolve quickly. You've known the defendant for many, many years.
Yes, that's correct.
She became engaged too when she was getting married, and they were planning a wedding, according to you. And Ms. Poindexter, according to you, asked you to lay out certain monies for her for the wedding.
That's correct.
They were married. It was a joyous day, I gather. And then you asked her for the money back.
Yes, that's correct.
And she said, I never agreed to pay you any money. We're family. I've done things for you. You've done things for me. There was never an agreement for me to pay you. And your brother, he said, leave me out of this.
Yep.
I don't want to get involved with this. You two ladies take care
That's
of it
exactly
on
what he
your own.
said.
Okay, well, it seems like a family matter, then more like a court matter.
Claims her sister-in-law, Kenesha Jones Poindexter, is responsible for trip costs and wedding expenses.
You have your own home?
Yes, that's correct.
Tell me about your home.
Nice home, got a lot of land around the property.
How much?
I would say probably a half an acre, which was big enough to put up 2 large tents, 45 guest tables, chairs, the mayor, some police. It was nice.
And there were certain things that you paid for.
Yes, that's correct.
You paid for a photographer?
Yes, that's correct.
How much?
The photographer was $300, Your Honor.
Okay, what else did you pay for?
Because the party was held at the home, the wedding, all the events pertaining to the wedding party had to take place at the home.
Like what?
So like when we had our bridal shower meetings, because also Miss...
Oh, you mean the meetings to plan the wedding?
Right, to plan the wedding.
I'm not interested in
You're
that.
not interested in that?
I'm not interested in that. Yeah, so far we have $300 for a photographer that you say you laid out. Did she lay out that money?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, what else?
Her rides back and forth.
I'm not interested in her rides back.
Well, how was she going to get this? She's in Philadelphia. I'm in New Jersey.
$300 for a photographer. What else?
And just money she asked to borrow for the most part throughout the wedding.
Just a second.
So we have...
How much and when? So far, $300 for a photographer.
So on January 20th, Your Honor, we have $150.
For what?
She didn't say what it was for. It was for the wedding, though, because I have it here. Everything wedding is here.
Well, did she ask you for this $150 on the phone, in person?
She asked for it, like, over the phone, but then I sent the money, too. So anything that I sent to her, I always sent to her through Cash App because she's in Philadelphia, no car.
Okay. Then let me ask Ms. Poindexter. Ms. Poindexter, there would be no other reason for Ms. Dobson to send money to you through a Cash App during the wedding period other than for the wedding. Would that be accurate?
Not in January, Your Honor. We didn't start planning our wedding until 90 days before June. So anything that happened in January had nothing to do with my wedding.
Okay. Do you have Cash App statements before January?
I have nothing before January.
She has nothing before.
I have everything
Only
from
after.
January on.
Only after. So that would be for the wedding.
We didn't start planning our wedding until about March. We got married in June.
So what would she be sending you money for?
It has been times, it has been times when I'll ask her for, let me get $50 or, it has been times if I didn't have it or I might have needed a car fare or something, and she would do that. She would lend me money and vice versa.
No, I'm not talking about vice versa. I don't have a counterclaims. That you said perfectly. I would ask her for $50 or $100 and she would lend me that. Is that the word she used? Let's make sure I heard that right.
She says, it has been times when I'll ask her for, let me get $50 or, there has been times. And you asked her why. She said if I didn't have it or I need a car fare or something, and she would do that. She would lend me money and vice versa.
Thank you. Lend me money. So, okay, now we're going to get to Ms. Dobson. Yes. How much money did you send her via Cash App? Because she's already just acknowledged that those were loans.
So, 150, 100.
Let me have the dates.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's go back. 150 on what date?
January 20th.
Okay, 100 on what date?
February 11th.
Next.
March 8th, $50.
Okay.
April 4th, $100. May 11th, $20. May 17th, $25. May 22nd, $205. 15 on May 25th. May 28th, $45. June 3rd, $15. And I had a February 28th in here for $50. That was the first one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had February 11th only. So you have another.
Right, a February 28th for $50.
Can I see all of those?
Yes, ma'am. Here you go.
Sarah Rose, would you fix that up for me? Okay, and you, based upon the read back and based upon what I thought I heard, anytime she sent you money, it was because you ran out of money, you were in a bind, and she loaned you the money. That's what was here. Okay, so you have
$775.
$775. Has she paid you back any of that money?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, now, the photographer. I want you to tell me how it came about that you paid the photographer.
Because Miss Jones/Poindexter was waiting on unemployment to hit. And I'm not saying she wasn't trying to get the money up, because she was. But when the time came, this photographer guy needed to get paid, she didn't have the money.
Want to tell me about the photographer?
Yes, the photographer, I believe I was short like $300 some odd, and Clarissa did put the rest of the money.
Why didn't you pay her the $775?
I don't believe I owe Clarissa.
Well, you just told her that she loaned you the money when you were short, and she wired it to you or did whatever they do in a cash app. I don't understand all of that. You said it was a loan. Is there any reason why you didn't pay her back? No. Okay. So far I have $775 and $300. Next.
Okay, so now we have the trip. They are the godparents of my twins. Yeah, Anna, we were inseparable.
Okay,
So,
they're the godparents of your twins, your twins.
came time for their birthday. She said...
Month and year.
April of last year, 2021.
Okay, April of 2021.
Right. So in the process of planning the twins' birthday, Miss Jones-Poindexter said, oh, I would like to go. I'm just waiting on the unemployment, pandemic money, all that to hit. When it came time to go, they didn't have the money.
You're talking about the defendant and your brother. Yeah. They both went.
Right. So
just a second. They both went.
They both went. That's correct.
And what kind of work does your brother do?
He was a chef at the time.
So he was working.
Yes.
And she wasn't working.
Yes. Can I say something?
You can say whatever you want to say. You know where I'm going, don't you?
I know where you're going.
Okay.
Like I said, we were inseparable, right?
I don't care. I don't care about the social aspect of this.
Okay, but certain things she just didn't want to let him know she was doing, because at the end of the day, she thought she was going to get this money.
Miss Dobson, I don't care whether you say she didn't know what she was doing. You were already in a place where on January 20th, she didn't have $150, so you sent it to her. On February 11th, she didn't have $100, you sent it to her. On March 8th, she didn't have $50. You had to send it to her. So I don't see stupid written over here.
No.
If somebody doesn't have $50 and you think I believe that you relied on her statement that I'm going to pay you for this trip that your brother is going on too because his godchildren are celebrating a birthday, I don't believe it. So let's just forget a trip. $775 is what she says she owes you because she says it was a loan. $300 for the photographer. You have the pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't hear anything from you suggesting to me that this $300 was a gift.
I honestly did believe that she was doing it for our wedding.
Okay, good. $1075, judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much.
So, Your Honor, what about my
adjourned? That's it.
It's just a sad situation all the way around.
That's probably how she feel right now.
I love my sister-in-law.
She love me and I love her. So what?
Honestly, I just want to be able to see my godkid.
I'm sure we'll be all right.
It's always unfortunate and sad when nice occasion turns sour by one thing.
Yeah.
And I thought the brother/husband was
The smartest one.
The smartest one. I'm staying out of this between my sister and my wife.
Yep. The safest place he could be was right where he sat. Just unfortunate. I mean, families squabble all the time, but just to bring it into a legal system, there are ramifications for that sometimes your anger or emotions can get the better of you.
That's true.
But to take it to a filing stage and to use the court system, that's just the next level that I feel like most family members don't need or shouldn't.
Kaloyan Popyanchev is suing fellow motorist Spencer Gilbert for car damage.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 2084, Popyanchev versus Gilbert.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Popyanchev, you were driving in your car, 2008 BMW.
That's correct.
And that was on the 14th of November of last year. Tell me what time of the day this accident happened.
It was approximately 3:15 p.m.
So daylight hours?
Yes.
And tell me where you were going.
I was going eastbound on Sunset Boulevard in Beverly Hills. I was driving...
Eastbound on?
Sunset Boulevard. in Beverly Hills. I was driving in the right, so-called slow lane when I tried to make a right turn.
Where?
It's a intersection. The name of the street is Palm Drive.
Is that intersection controlled by a light or stop sign?
No, there is no stop sign or a light.
At that intersection?
That is correct.
I assume somebody has a video or a photograph of that section that would demonstrate that there is no light. You do. Is there a light or a stop sign at that intersection?
No, Your Honor, there's not.
Did you put on your signal indicating a right turn?
Yes, I did.
How far from the corner?
I can't state distance, but it was approximately 5 seconds before I reached the intersection.
Was there traffic that day?
Yes.
A lot?
Very light. It was Sunday.
So far, Mr. Gilbert, is that correct, that there was light traffic on that day?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were traveling on a motor something called a Vespa, which is a small
scooter, yes, Your Honor.
But motorized.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know about these things, does a Vespa have to be registered and have a license plate on it?
I do have
It's
a
yours.
license plate on the Reddit.
Okay, so your Vespa is registered as a motor vehicle, and you have a license plate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now tell me what happened, sir.
As I proceeded to make a right turn onto Palm Drive, I just heard an airflow. It was a big bang. It was an impact.
On your passenger side?
Yes, on my right passenger side. And I realized that there was a small motorcycle or a moped that hit my vehicle.
Hit your side. And you were the person riding that Vespa?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. May I see the damage to your car?
Yes.
Sarah Rose, get me the price of the 2008 BMW 7 Series.
Will do.
Thanks. What you're talking about is this damage, sir. Is that correct?
Yes, front passenger.
I see.
Yeah.
I've just made a circle. Can you see the circle that I've made?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And that is, Mr. Gilbert, where you hit him with your Vespa.
It's where he hit me with his car.
No, he can't hit you sideways, sir.
He sideswiped me.
He can't hit you sideways, sir. He can't slide into you. Now, whose ever fault this was, I'll try to figure it out. But you hit him because this is the area of impact. Cars don't go sideways, they go front. You have pictures of your Vespa?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at them.
Your Honor, based on a 100,000-mile BMW 7 Series, between $4,700 and $7,800 is about the range.
I just want to know, because I have to see what this kind of he's suing for $10,000, which is ridiculous. That doesn't show me much, actually. Okay, so I can't see the front of your Vespa, sir. I assume that the front is the end that's damaged because I see the back.
Yeah, the front end was completely
just
collapsed.
A second. So the front of your Vespa was damaged because that's where you hit him with your Vespa.
No, Your
The
Honor,
back
that's
end
incorrect.
was not damaged, nor does it look like the sides are damaged. These are the pictures you gave me. The only thing I can't see is the front crushed end. Am I correct that I can't see the front crushed end? Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm telling you that based upon these photographs, yours and his, you hit his car. Okay, now that's the chart. Whose chart is that?
It's from the police report.
Great. Now, the police report doesn't show a bike lane there or any other lane. It shows that there's a car traveling in a car lane and the Vespa hitting. See, he can't hit. You can hit. He can't hit you. Now, tell me, sir, why is it that you were driving where you were? You were behind him initially.
No, Your Honor, I was traveling eastbound down Sunset, heading to work. He was right next to me. When we got to Palm, he turned into me, pushed me. I barely was able to keep control of my vehicle.
Is what you're telling me that your Vespa was never behind his?
Kaloyan Papyanchev claims fellow motorist Spencer Gilbert owes for car damage after hitting him with his Vespa.
Is what you're telling me that your Vespa was never behind his?
No, I was never behind his vehicle.
Do we have any other video?
I do have a dash camera video of the...
May I see it, please? Play it again, please. Start from the beginning. So let's go slowly. Okay. Well, it's clear to me, Mr. Gilbert, that you came up behind him. Just go back a little bit. You weren't right next to him because...
I was next to him because as he slows down to make his turn, that's when he makes contact with me. I was right next to him the entire time.
Impossible. May I see the police report, please?
Yes. There's actually 2 police reports.
May I see them? Was anybody given a summons on that day? Nobody. Neither party was given a summons. Is that correct?
Not that I know of, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is the narrative after witnesses were questioned, and the opinion based upon the witnesses' testimony and yours, and the fact that the police officer actually heard in the video the clicking of the turn signal indicating a right turn approximately 5 seconds before the right turn was executed according to the police officer as a result of viewing the cam that he had, the video, that he was making a slow right turn. He had turned on his signal approximately 5 seconds before, and you were coming up on him on your right. And it says, based upon the video footage, I determined that the first car, and that would be his, should not have been placed at fault for this collision because he activated his turn signal and made a safe turn to go southbound on Park Drive. The fault of the collision is on the part of Mr. Gilbert for violating 21755 CVC, which states in part that the driver of a vehicle may overtake and pass another vehicle on the right only under conditions permitting that movement safely. I'm reading you the police report. Do you have another police report?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Prior to this or after this one?
This is the only police report that I know of.
Oh.
I wasn't aware there was 2.
Well, this was a supplementary police report. What is the date of yours?
All I have is what my lawyers gave me.
Well, I'm going to show you this one, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
And this one was after viewing the cam.
Yes, Your Honor, my police report predates his.
Predates it. Well, that's after the officers looked at the dash cam, heard the signal, and saw you coming up from behind. I'll take it back now. I've seen the damage on your car, sir.
Yes.
Which, while I wouldn't like to have it on my car that's 14 years old, it is on your car. It's not worth $10,000. Your whole car isn't worth $10,000, sir. So if you want to show me a reasonable estimate for fixing that, I'll be more than happy to look at it.
Yes, I do. And this estimate was given to me by the only body shop that is authorized by BMW.
Well, find another body shop for a 14-year-old car. I'm certainly not going to consider giving you anything near the value of your total car for something that is on the door of one side of the car. Have you had the car fixed, sir?
I had the entire door replaced, but it's still...
Replaced by whom?
By a body shop.
Good.
Yeah.
And if you had the whole door replaced, you must have a bill. This you're not getting. I want you to get this right out of your mind. Your whole car isn't worth $10,000. Let's be serious. I don't have all day. Do you have a bill for the door that you replaced from a body shop, which is what I said a moment ago?
No, I do not have it with me. The vehicle is still due paint and dents and scratches repair.
Well, they're going to fix the car, and if they can fix the car for $2,000, have it fixed. That's my judgment. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished.
This court is adjourned.
Certainly not happy about it.
I am happy. It is something.
The problems that this gentleman's caused my life.
It happened in about 2 seconds.
I was like riding right next to the dude and he just turned into me and I went into the wall and that was pretty much it.
I had to call 911 immediately because I wasn't sure if he's dead.
Because of what he did, I wasn't able to go to work for 2 weeks. I lost 2 of my jobs.
First thing to do is you call 911 and then deal with, the rest of the circumstances.
One theme that we see far too often is plaintiffs coming here or to any court asking for a large sum of money, in this case $10,000 for a car that wasn't even worth $6,000. And instead of showing us an estimate of fairy tale land of what was going to fix it, show me a receipt for what you paid to fix the damage.
Yeah, he did fix the damage.
He fixed the damage already, replaced the whole door. You don't have a receipt for that. You don't have a bill. You don't have a nothing, which leads me to believe that it was a lot less expensive than $10,000. So I thought your judgment was generous, given that he had no proof. I would have said goodbye.
Well, he did damage the car. Not that I'm going into history, but as one who has, on occasion, hit a stationary object, even allegedly hit a stationary object, and get a little nick on a bumper on a car. It's expensive to fix a car. So he had a car that looked in perfect condition. It wasn't after it was hit. He's entitled to have it look like what it looked like before.
I just felt there was sort of a bait and switch with a $10,000 estimate, but I already got it replaced.
Fixed. I think that he said that. I think that he said that unintentionally.
I also think he did.
It's okay.
Won't get one over on us.
No.
Suing her sister, Kelvis Bentley, for moving costs.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 2106, Bentley versus Bentley.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Miss Bentley, this is your sister.
Yes.
The case is relatively simple. Your mom passed away a couple of years ago. There was a house full of furniture that belonged to your mother. According to what I've read, and this is broad strokes, according to what I read, your sister, what's your first name?
Kelvis.
Put your mother's property in a storage unit.
Excuse me, it was already in storage.
Who had put it into storage?
My mom put it in storage. My mom was terminally ill, and she put it in storage 3 months before she passed away.
Is that correct?
Yes.
On what date did your mom pass?
November the 8th, 2018.
So it would have been in storage since August of 2018.
Correct.
From August till November, who paid for the storage unit?
I have been paying it.
And how much is it every month?
Right now it's $209, but it was $182 in the beginning.
But about $200 a month, and it's been 3 years.
Yes, I've been paying that every month.
This is what your case is about. You say that you gave your sister $900 for the purpose of traveling, getting your mother's things out of storage so that you could all disperse your mother's property.
Yes, but the amount is incorrect.
What's the amount?
I gave her $800.
Okay, $800.
Yes.
In order to get your mother's furniture to where you live, so that you could separate the furniture and the family could take what they wanted or needed of the property, correct?
That's correct.
Good. Then COVID struck. Your sister didn't use that money to travel, to hire truckers, to move the furniture, and you want that money back.
Yes, that's correct.
That's the whole case. Okay. Just for my own information, you do expect when that furniture arrives to be one of the beneficiaries of that furniture. That's what your sister says. She says that that's the plan once it all comes back.
That's not correct. I didn't want anything out of the storage but pictures.
Pictures?
Yeah.
Well, pictures of things.
Yes, that's it.
Pictures of what?
There's a picture of me and my mother. That's all I wanted.
Did you tell that to your sister?
Yes, I did.
Did she?
No.
How many sisters are there?
It's only 2 of us now. It was 4, 2 deceased.
Did your mother have any other property?
My mother has a whole 2-bedroom home in the storage. She has furniture, everything.
Other than furniture?
No. Clothes, pictures, yes, things like that, yes.
Is there any property in that storage unit that you want?
Well, I'm holding her stuff because it's sentimental. I mean, I can get it, I wouldn't mind having it, but it's really, she got a lot of sentimental stuff in there, so that's why I've been paying.
Furniture?
Yes, furniture, clothes.
Furniture?
Pictures, everything,
Okay.
Yes.
How far away is the storage unit from where you live?
It's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
How far away?
10-hour drive. We stay in Michigan, and the storage is in North Carolina, Charlotte.
Anybody that you know live there close to the storage unit?
My aunt and my cousin does.
And this picture that you want, do you know where it is?
It's in the photo album with the rest of the pictures.
And other than that one picture in a photo album, you don't want anything else, any of the other property?
No.
You two are the heirs, is that right?
We have a brother.
Does he have, as far as you know, any interest in any of your mother's property?
No. When my mom passed, it was me, my niece, and my older brother there at the time of death. And so he got everything he wanted out, and he gave me the key because I was the next to older one because she wasn't there. So he was like, so y'all do what y'all want to do with it. And so that's when I told her, I'll pay it until we go get it.
You said, I'll pay for the storage unit until we go and get it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'd like you to tell me about this money that she gave you. Do you remember when she gave you the 800?
She gave me the money, I want to say May of 2020.
And can you tell me what the conversation was when she gave you the money?
Here is some money to go towards going to get the things, you know. And so I told her, well, I'll find a way to go get it. I didn't never give her a designated time, but during that time, that was COVID, so no one was able to go. And so I was going to go this year because I just signed the papers to go and go get the stuff, but no one still was able to go. She never once said that this was money loaned to go get it.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, she had designated it to go and get the property.
Yes.
And you didn't use it to go and get the property.
I used it towards the storage.
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead. No.
The answer is no.
No.
So that's what her complaint is, that it wasn't used for its intended purpose, which was to go rent a truck, movers, and bring the property to where you both live. Okay, and she did give you $800.
Yes.
Okay, and Miss Bentley, you're prepared to sign a document that indicates that the only property you want from storage is a photograph of you and your mother that's in a photo album.
Yes.
That you want nothing else, that everything else belongs to either your sister or any other heirs that have a legitimate claim on any of that property, but you want nothing else.
That's fine.
Reasonable?
Fine.
Perfect. I'm entering a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800 with the proviso that the plaintiff will, in fact, sign that document indicating she wants nothing but one photograph from the storage unit.
I gave her $150 back.
Did she give you $150 back?
She did give me $150 back.
You paid her back. So she goes, you're $650. Judgment for the plaintiff, $650. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
It was my mother's stuff. I just was trying to get the stuff. It was in storage for long enough. We haven't talked in a whole year. We're not close. You know, all she wanted is a picture. I give her a picture. At least I got what I wanted. We still sisters. Still love her.
Those look like two nice sisters. And I think part of that problem is the intervention of COVID, which really turned everybody's life upside down.
Especially family units.
Family units, because I think that was the intention, that she was going to pay for it to all be brought up, use that money, and then they would go through the property and decide who wanted what and what would be disposed of. It's not an egregious case of misappropriation of funds.
All well-intentioned, I think.
Well-intentioned. I thought it was a sweet case.
Case 2111, Banks versus Mitchell. All parties, please.
Melissa Baker is suing fellow motorist Jesus Escobar for car damage after an accident.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 2159, Baker versus Escobar.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This case involves an automobile accident. Ms. Baker, you are seeking $10,000 from Mr. Escobar, who you claim caused the accident and you a lot of grief. The accident happened on what date?
It happened on May the 18th, 2021.
Was your car insured at the time?
Yes.
Yes. And your car was insured at the time?
Yes.
Great. I don't want you to get into the specifics of the accident just yet. What I'd like you to tell me was, prior to May 18th, who were you working for?
Brand Lighting.
What were you doing for them?
I drove a forklift. I load and unload trailers.
How long had you worked for them?
About a year and a half.
Prior to that, where did you work?
I think it was distribution.
From when to when?
I worked for them for about 4 years.
Prior to that, were you constantly...
You are standing in a crowded room, surrounded by voices, laughter, the clinking of glasses, a symphony of human connection. Yet beneath the surface, a quiet dissonance hums in your chest. You smile when expected, nod when required, laugh at the right moments, but something gnaws at you, a whisper, faint but persistent. None of this feels real. You catch your reflection in a window, your face, your clothes, your carefully curated expression, and for a fleeting moment, it's as if you're staring at a stranger. Who is this person? How did they get here? When did you become this? This is the silent epidemic of the modern age. Most people live entire lifetimes without ever truly finding themselves. They drift through years, decades, wearing identities like borrowed coats, too loose in some places, too tight in others, never quite fitting. They chase promotions, relationships, accolades, thinking, this will finally make me feel like myself, but the feeling never comes. Here's the paradox. We are born with a self, yet we spend our lives losing it. From the moment we take our first breath, the world begins shaping us. Parents, teachers, religions, corporations, algorithms, all whisper in unison, this is who you should be. And we listen. We mold ourselves into acceptable forms, filing down the jagged edges of our true nature to fit into pre-cut slots. Be kind, but not too kind. Ambitious, but not ruthless. Successful, but not arrogant. Unique, but not too different. By the time we reach adulthood, the original blueprint of our being is buried under layers of conditioning. We forget what we once wanted, what we once loved, what once set our souls on fire. We become ghosts haunting our own lives, performing routines we didn't choose, repeating scripts we didn't write. Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something purely because it resonated with your soul? Not because it was practical, expected, or rewarded? Think of the child who once marveled at ants marching in perfect lines, who stayed up late dreaming of dragons and distant stars, who asked why 1,000 times a day. Where is that child now? Did they disappear, or were they simply buried alive under the weight of should and must and what will people think? The tragedy is not that we lose ourselves. The tragedy is that we don't even realize it's happening. We mistake the map for the territory, the mask for the face. We believe our thoughts are our own, never questioning who or what put them there. We confuse comfort for fulfillment, busyness for purpose, likes on a screen for genuine connection. We build lives on foundations made of borrowed dreams, then wonder why the walls keep crumbling. And so, the great question lingers, heavy as a stone in the gut. If I am not the roles I play, the titles I hold, the opinions others have of me, then who am I? The answer is not found in another self-help book, another therapy session, another viral tweet. It's not something you acquire, it's something you uncover. Beneath the layers of expectation, beneath the fear of judgment, beneath the desperate need to belong, there is a voice. Faint, perhaps, but unyielding. It has been waiting your entire life for you to stop, to listen, to remember. This is not a call to abandon responsibility, to flee society, to shatter every convention. It is a call to wake up, to question, to peel back the layers and ask again and again, is this truly me? Because the alternative is a life half-lived, a shadow existence where you chase approval instead of truth, where you trade authenticity for belonging, where you die long before your heart stops beating. The journey to finding yourself begins with a single, terrifying admission. I have been lost, and the moment you admit it, really admit it, is the moment your life truly begins.